Hello and welcome to Giant Mess, the super sloppy sports and entertainment podcast that's hosted by Giant Mess. That's me, the real cinch Neal Lynch. I'm a former four-string college quarterback and mediocre middle relief pitcher who earned himself a film and media studies degree. And now I'm a single dad who loves to talk about Giants football, Mets baseball, movies, TV, comedy, and life. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about life. The biggest stories from my personal life and the hottest trending searches on the interwebs for March 2025. What is aura forming? That's not how you pronounce it. What is aura farming? How to know your aura colors, the most searched aura colors by state in the Grand Old America. Dad's birthday took place in March, so I tried to put together a little mini celebration tribute based on my daughter getting very excited about it. Tell you how that went. The searches for Severance, the TV show on Apple TV Plus hit show, peaked in March 2025. There were some top searches related to Severance, so we'll go over those. Pi Day, that's a thing. I had a joke about it in my stand-up way back in the day. If you were an animal, what animal would you be and why? That was on a freaking job application that I had to fill out. We'll talk about cozymaxxing. Do cats fast during Ramadan? Floodlighting, which apparently is a thing in dating. The red balloon theory. Top spring break travel destinations. Bacon, egg, and cheese the ocky way. MLB's new City Connect jerseys, the top search Ballpark foods, big RIP to George Foreman, and my thoughts on Anora and Invincible. All that I have crammed and smushed into this, what will be a very ridiculous, possibly cancelable episode of the Giant Mess podcast. So without further ado, let's get it started up any yeah, the Oscars. I mean, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this. I love Nick Offerman as the announcer. I thought that was great. Conan did an amazing job. It feels like let him do that. Let him host until he kicks the bucket. Just keep it going. So silly, so funny. Always enjoy watching him. Love the bits he puts together. Even the misfires are hits. I mean, the LA Fire Department coming out and roasting people was just like, those celebrities are probably not the best audience for roasts, I'd say. You know, most roasts, that you see on Comedy Central, it's like most people at home are laughing their tits off, but like the celebrities in the audience are like, oh my God. It's a lot of like pearl clutching going on. So similar thing here where it's like, this is the Los Angeles Fire Department. These are people that put their lives on the line to save your asses, and you can't even laugh at a couple of ribs. So, but the sandworm from Dune being just repeatedly featured. I love that. There was the song tribute to the James Bond franchise. They had three singers who didn't sing the original songs from the movies. And it's like, okay, maybe, I enjoy when they do at award shows, they do like the kind of the newer generation, up and coming talent that wants to perform a classic song, and they end up doing a duet with the person that sang the original song. I dig that. I thought maybe this could have been like a good opportunity to do that here. Like, why didn't you have these three singers do a kind of back and forth duet with the person that sang the original song for the movie? They didn't. And so I don't know. Also, two of the three singers just have one name, and they're not like crazy names. It's not Madonna or Seal or Cher. Literally, the one girl's name is Lisa. That's her artist name, Lisa. What? What's going on? You're the Lisa when it comes to music. Got it. The balls, man, the absolute balls, the testicles on this woman to be like, that's just like me being like, it's like if your name was John. Like we're gonna have a male singer or musician come out and be like, what's your stage name? John. Cool, man. Oh, wow, that really pops off the page. It really tickles the hairs on the back of my neck. So Lisa was one of the singers. Never heard her before. She performed Live and Let Die, originally sang by Paul McCartney in Wings for the 1973 Bond film of the same name. Doja Cat performed Diamonds Are Forever, originally sung by Shirley Bassey for the 1971 film. Now I don't know if Shirley Bassey's alive, so maybe that give Doja a pass on that one. But yeah, that seems like a perfect alignment there with singer and song. And then the third singer, Ray. Not Ray Charles, just Ray, Raye, performed Skyfall, which was originally by Adele. It's like, you can't get Adele on the friggin' horn. What's she doing? What is she doing right now? Just get her on the horn and do a little duet. I thought that would be the way to go, but they didn't. And it's, Lisa, that's it. That blew my goddamn mind. I was like, wow. Ray is a little more, it's like traditionally it sounds like a guy's name, but it's got an E on the end of it. Like, Ray. Okay. I can get that. Lisa. What? I think she was the one that had like the schoolgirl outfit too. And I was like, you know what? I need to stop watching adult entertainment because I immediately had to leave the room. Tried to put the TV on mute. I tried to put the TV on incognito mode. I was like, oh, Lisa. Whoa, is this Lisa Ann? Did they forget the Ann? And then fucking Adrian Brody, dude. I cannot believe this guy. I was like, it seemed like this was kind of his second chance, right? Because he kind of, he did the thing where he forcibly kissed, what's her face? Halle Berry. In a previous award show, I think he was being nominated for the pianist, and I think he won, maybe. But he did this weird thing, and so that's what people remember him for at the Oscars. And so Halle Berry's at the Oscars, and on the red carpet, she decides to forcibly kiss him to show like, oh, let bygones be bygones. And then he's dating Harvey Weinstein's ex, kind of weird. And then gives the longest speech, most pretentious speech in Oscars history. It's official. He went over the time limit, which for when you win Best Actor and you go over the they give you extra time right off the bat, dude. You get the most time, and you still went over. They tried playing you off. You're probably the first ever Best Actor winner to ever try and get played off. And then you're like, oh, this is not my first rodeo. He just came across as like, I was excited to see The Brutalist. And it's like, I don't know that I really give a shit now. Like, this guy has had multiple chances to kind of redeem himself or at least come across as something that we can all get behind. And I don't know. It's just like, ugh. He threw his gum at his girlfriend. He was chewing gum, forgot he had the gum, realized he had to make the speech as he's going up the stairs, turned, took out the gum, threw it at his girlfriend. It was Harvey Weinstein's ex-wife. Oh, baby. Just, I don't know. Actors, man, And Andrew Garfield glazing the hell out of Goldie Hawn. Goldie Hawn, America's sweetheart. There was a stretch there in the 80s, into the 90s, where it's like Wildcats, Overboard. There were a few others in there somewhere, but just amazing. And I don't know what's going on. It feels wrong what they did to her. It's like, we're going to bring you up and have you present with Andrew Garfield, but like, I don't know if this was it a joke or not? I don't know. This is where I get in my own head because it's like, she can't read the teleprompter. It's like, I know that we don't want to forget our most iconic actors, actresses of yesteryear. But at a certain point, it's like you're doing them a disservice in a way. I don't know. Anywho, so that was the Oscars. What is aura farming? Great question. Aura farming was the top trending aura question related to aura in a week in March. What is it? It's a modern internet slang term describing the act of deliberately trying to appear quote unquote cool, quote unquote charismatic, or quote unquote badass, often in exaggerated or performative ways, i.e., like basically what I've done for the majority of my life. This pod included. To build up one's perceived aura or social presence. The term combines aura, meaning a person's unique charismatic vibe, of which I have none, with farming, which in gaming and internet culture refers to repetitive actions to accumulate a new word, anyone? Desired resource or outcome. So how does it work? It involves performing spontaneous or attention-grabbing acts, flashy gestures, dramatic poses, wearing standout outfits in public or on social media to attract attention and admiration. Isn't that like 99% of what people do? Like in everyday life? Isn't everyone just always aura farming? Adopting behaviors or personas that are intentionally designed to make oneself look impressive, mysterious, or superior to the point of being comical or over the top. I guess the rally pimp for the Mets fan, that would be considered. That dude's like hardcore aura farming. Examples include taking off your shirt to play basketball in front of others. I would say if you are ripped, six pack, all right, you're aura farming. If you are like, oh, I'll never forget that scene. I bring it up at least once a month on this freaking podcast, but from Along Came Polly, when Philip Seymour Hoffman is playing basketball with Ben Stiller's character, and he takes off his shirt and he does the jump shot, and his like hairy, sweaty gut just rubs all the way up and down Ben Stiller's face. Make it rain. I think he introduced everyone to the word shirt, or if not, he was an early adopter. So depends on the person taking off the shirt. I guess you could say that for any of these examples, like acting mysterious in a group setting, doing unnecessary but impressive stunts like backflips just for show. I'm here to tell you, if I could do a backflip, I would do it at least once a day and in public. That's an incredible friggin' feat. Yes, I'm going to do that. It's like if I could slam dunk a basketball, I would. There's a basketball court like 50 paces from my front door. If I could dunk a basketball, I would go out there in the middle of a blizzard and dunk a basketball just to know that just to feel that feeling. I'm sure like the greatest dunkers after a while just gets boring, but damn, dude, like dunking a basketball, benching 300 pounds, driving a golf ball 300 plus yards. There are certain things where it's like, if I could do those things, it's like I would do it every freaking day. Sometimes to praise someone's coolness, but often to mock people who clearly are trying too hard to impress others. Yeah, I mean, I guess, would you be able to call what I'm doing aura farming? I don't think so. I mean, I'm clearly trying too hard. That's for dang sure. I know with the way I dress and the way I act in certain social settings, people would disagree with that. But like, wow, he's just wearing sweatpants. And that same shirt again. Wow. And Hey Dude shoes. This is a wedding, Neal. What are you doing? They give some more examples here, which some of them are like, what? Thanos in Avengers Endgame deliberately posing or acting in ways meant to look cool for the audience? I remember that being, I remember just, I don't know. I don't think he was, he was trying to like, get follows and likes and subscribes with his behavior and actions. He was mostly just like, if anything, he's a aura terraforming. What would you call it? He's like aura destroying. He wants half the people gone, universe wide, galaxy wide. He's like, what? You're too. I go to Trader Joe's and there are too many people. So there you go. Snap your ways. Enjoy the blip. So yeah, Thanos, that was such a weird example, like aura farming. He doesn't need to really pose to look cool. He just looks freaking cool. The way he acts, the way he talks. I mean, there hasn't been a villain like him in my hoe. In real life, some aura farm by dressing up just to be seen in a trendy place or by performing a dramatic gesture when they know others are watching. In sports, NBA players pulling off flashy moves or dramatic celebrations are sometimes described as aura farming when their actions seem aimed at boosting their personal brand or presence rather than just playing the game. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you could say that about LeBron's like baby powder toss before the game, or he does that thing every time. I was curious about that. I was like, does he give a heads up to anybody that he's doing that? And like, what if you're just happen to be sitting at that table or like sitting in front of him or standing behind him and he just fucking cloud of baby powder dust is all over the place. It looks like it was, a studio meeting in the 80s, just cocaine everywhere. So can be admired if natural, but often mocked if seen as forced or inauthentic. Yep, I get it. So how to know your aura color? Bad aura colors search interest doubled. Amber aura meaning was a top trending aura color, but I don't even think that's a friggin' color on here. Unless you can consider amber to be, what is that, orange? I don't know. So I looked it up. They're believed to reflect a person's emotional, physical, and spiritual state. Each color carries its own symbolism, can shift over time depending on mood, health, and life circumstances. I don't even know. Okay. Fucking A. People put a lot of thought into this. Red. So what does the red aura color mean? It means energetic, passionate, strong-willed, action-oriented, grounded. Leadership and vitality can also indicate intense emotions or a focus on the material world. Okay. So you could be both grounded, but also be a little bit of a shopaholic. Maybe you just have a ton of Kohl's cash, or you just got a ton of Walmart bucks, whatever the hell it is. Orange aura color is creative, adventurous, sociable, confident, optimistic, spontaneous, and motivated. May also reflect ambition and a desire for experience. Ooh, what kind of experience you talking about? Orange. Yellow aura color, happy, charismatic, confident, intellectual, optimistic, and friendly. Linked to creativity, mental clarity, and a sunny disposition. My ex-wife's favorite color is yellow, and that. Yeah, just leave it at that. The green aura color is loving, compassionate, nurturing, balanced, healing, and growth-oriented, associated with harmony, connection to nature, and empathy. Okay. Pink is kind, gentle, caring, affectionate, and loving, open heart, and compassionate. Blue, my favorite color, is intuitive, spiritual, calm, communicative, insightful, and peaceful. Indicates wisdom, loyalty, and a desire for truth and expression. That's like basically the majority of those describe me. Like I feel like I'm fairly intuitive. No, I'm not intuitive. Insightful, loyal, and for the most part, truthful. Indigo, highly intuitive, sensitive, empathic, spiritually connected, deep wisdom, emotional sensitivity. Violet or purple, intuitive, wise, intellectual, independent, and spiritually aware, associated with transformation, compassion, and psychic abilities. Whoa! Here's a little curveball for you. Didn't know. So if you see someone with a purple aura, hit them bitches up for some advice, some tips, prognostications, forecasts, and predictions. White aura color is pure, wise, spiritually connected, and transcendent. Strong sense of unity and enlightenment. Black aura color indicates exhaustion, fatigue, presence of negativity, emotional, spiritual blockages, and need for healing. Bingo! Ding, 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 ding. I found my aura color. It is black. I saw a red door and I want to paint it black. The girls and their summer clothes, and I have to turn away. Turk away? Turn away. Gray, stagnant energy, hesitation, lack of willpower, feeling down. Yeah, I'm a mixture of gray. It's mostly grays and blacks right now for my aura. No big deal. Gold is enlightenment, wisdom, and spiritual mastery, often seen as rare and elevated. And rainbow aura color is energetic, busy, confident, dynamic. Indicates a person handling multiple aspects of life or undergoing significant change. My daughter is a rainbow fanatic. She is a zealot when it comes to rainbows. She has a little altar with little Mecca, whatever you call it. And she bows down 5 times a day to that rainbow. She loves rainbows. She loves drawing rainbows. She loves looking at rainbows. She loves telling me about all the colors of the rainbow in order. So if that's what her aura is going to be, God bless. I'm curious to see how long we can go before she realizes that rainbow is the icon for the LGBTQATIPA plus minus identity and culture. So gay friendly, if you will. I wonder how long it'll take her. And I'm curious to, like, if she just never found out and she just continued. She's like, calls me up and is like, Dad, I keep going to these bars and it feels like I'm getting a lot of attention from women. And the men just like have zero interest. They're just like always talking to other guys and like hugging other guys. And well, what kind of bars are you like? What bars are you going to? I don't remember the name of it. It just had a rainbow sticker in the window and just really love rainbows, All right. May I suggest Key West? Oh boy. Turquoise or coral turquoise. Energetic, powerful personality. Playful, mischievous, and conventional. Both rare. They're also associated with chakras. Chakras. The red aura color is associated with the root chakra, which is grounding or survival. Orange associated with sacral, which is my favorite chakra. That's the creative and sexuality chakra, right in the sack. Yellow is the solar plexus chakra. It's confidence and intellect. Green and pink are the heart chakra, love and compassion. Blue is the throat chakra, communication and trust. I mean, not trust, truth. Ooh, so maybe I'm a deep throat chakra. Indigo is a third eye chakra, tuition, wisdom, blindness. Hit songs from the 90s. Violet, white are both crown chakras, spirituality and enlightenment. So your aura is rarely a single color. There's a dominant color with others blending in. The intensity, brightness, and hue of the color can indicate the strength or subtlety of the associated traits. Darker or muddier shades may point to challenges, stress, or imbalances in those areas. Oh boy. Yeah. I wish there was like a car wash for people with black and gray auras. Like, does that exist where you can just go, how if you see the movies and TV shows about people that are in a contaminated area and they're wearing like the hazmat suit, and then they go into an airlock and they take off the hazmat suit and they get like hose sprayed down with some kind of mist and then they're decontaminated. That would be another great invention to get rid of the black and gray aura that I've been carrying with me for 2 decades or more. I'd say 3 decades at least. So, yeah, we got to figure that out. I'm sure there's some shaman I could go to and he could take like the little palm, not the palm frond, but it's like, you know what I'm talking about. The little palm leaves attached to a stick, light some incense and just wave that over me. Something. Got to do something. Get rid of this black and gray aura. The top searched aura colors by state in the United States of America. It's predominantly blues and greens across the board. Jersey, where I am, is a green. And there's only 4 or 5 states that have purple: Montana, Wisconsin, Mississippi, West Virginia, Connecticut. What an assembly of states that is. They ever banded together? Who knows? Spirituality and enlightenment. Okay. Sure. Psychic abilities. Maybe that's what's going on. They're trying to peek into the future. Sneaky cats. There's 4 yellows. Oh no, sorry, 3 yellows. Oregon, Utah. 4 yellows. Oregon, Utah, no. Try it again. Run it back. Back to 1. Okay, everyone. Set, ready, action. Oregon, Utah, New Hampshire, and Delaware. There's only 1 state where orange was the top trending search. Okay. Now, as a reminder, orange associated with the sac chakra, sexuality. Guess the state. The greatest little state in the Union, Rhode Island, my former stomping grounds. And I gotta say, yeah, I kind of have to agree. I feel like every time I go back there, there's just everyone's got that aura of like, you down? I'm down. You DTF? I'm DTF. Yeah, let's do this. So good on you, Rhode Island. Keep it going strong. So that's all that aura nonsense. I'm black and gray. My dad's birthday was in first week in March, early March. I mentioned that to my daughter and she got very excited. Anytime you mention the word birthday, the B word, she gets very amped up and hyped up. And so, she was excited. She was like, we need to get your dad. So everyone knows this, who's listened to this for a long time. If you were a new listener, my father passed away in 2006 from cardiac arrest. I've told my daughter about him and, she will do this thing. Well, where anytime we talk about anyone's dad, she'll be like, and your dad died, right? Your dad died. And I'm like, yeah. And, because his heart stopped working. And I was like, yes. She's only 6, so I get it. But she's like now just everything's starting to come together in terms of memory. But she doesn't call him grandpa, which is kind of upsetting, but I get it. She's never going to meet him or see him. And so she just views him as my dad. And I try to remind her, like, it's your grandpa Rip. Like, let's try and mix that in once in a while and just saying, instead of saying your dad, but it's tough when you're never going to be able to see him or meet him. So she wanted to get him a birthday cake to celebrate. Personally, it's like, is she just into birthdays for the cake? Feels like she's just in it for the cake. So I think it was just an excuse to get a birthday cake. So we ended up going to this place, Nino's Pastry Shop, by Gymland, where she does gymnastics. And they said they had some kind of chocolate truffle cake. And I was like, all right, this looks pretty straightforward and legit. Nothing that will throw off my daughter. Like, it's just chocolate, great chocolate and chocolate. And of course, so I got 2 slices of that, brought it home, and she started eating it. And she was like, what is this? I was like, nah. They had some kind of like raspberry type filling as a layer. And so she was not into that, which is weird because she does like raspberries. So kooky girl. But I thought, okay, she's showing some interest in my dad. This is the most interest she's really shown in him. So I was like, oh, I have home videos from when he was alive. The majority of the home videos, he's the one holding the camera, so you only hear his voice. But there are times here and there where, like, and I had, it's like each video that I loaded, because I had the tapes digitalized in 2018 as a Christmas gift to everyone, like the whole family. And each video is like 2 or 3 hours long. And like I'd say a good hour of that is either like just blue screen or it's like completely fucked and you can't see anything. And then the bulk of the rest of the footage, he's holding the camera. He's not on camera. You can just hear his voice. But there are some moments here and there where I'd be like, oh, there he is. You know, it's like, where's Waldo? I have to like point it out and set up a flare and all that good stuff. And I don't think my daughter did not. She was just not into it at all. I think I tried my best and she just couldn't. She just couldn't. There was no, and I get it. It's hard to connect, you know, with a screen. But yet again, this is the same girl that when she's talking to either me or her mom on FaceTime will hug the phone and kiss the phone. So it's like, where are the hugs and the kisses for the TV screen? AKA your grandpa. But there were some interesting moments in those home videos that, because I don't think I've watched all of them all the way through. There are some where it's like I know by heart, and as soon as I see it, I was like, I've seen this a million times. Then there's some other parts where it's like, whoa, I did not remember that happening either as a kid or, you know, watching it back. There was one there's one little clip. It's not that long where my dad is filming my mom, and my mom is laying on the couch like Will Ferrell in the promos for Semi-Pro. If you can pull up that, just Google it. Will Ferrell, if you haven't seen Semi-Pro, what are you doing? One of the best comedies of all time. Will Ferrell plays a musician, very popular musician, who ends up buying what's the name of that league? ABA team, I want to say. Like a semi-professional basketball league that was trying to compete with, or a professional basketball league that was trying to compete with the NBA. Kind of like what the AFL is doing with the NFL. Anyway, he's a musician, very rich, so he buys the Flint Tropics, and then he says he's a player as well, and he wants to play. And so I remember maybe the posters or promotional images for the movie are him laying on a bench, you know, kind of sideways, but just like a basketball in front of him, similar to, I guess, Burt Reynolds. Did Burt Reynolds pose for Playgirl? I think it was like similar to that shot where it's like he's completely new, but he has a football in front of his junk. So that's Will Ferrell did a riff on that with the basketball in front of his junk. And no, my mother was not naked on the couch with like a baseball mitt in front of her crotch. That's not what I'm saying, but similar pose where it's like laying out on the couch on her side. And my dad just like slowly zooming in. And all my mom is doing is just like reading a magazine, just like, you know, it's the 80s. There are no smartphones. TV sucks. Like the radio is nothing that's that great. And so she's just laying on her side and just flipping through a magazine. And I don't even think, I can't remember what the magazine was, but my dad just slowly zooming in on her. Like, woo, okay, alrighty then. Dad, you hornball. Paint me like your French ladies. The next one that I did not remember, but that was like, I'm so glad my daughter had tuned out by this point. We were at our house in Westwood, Massachusetts, and we had some people over. I don't know if it was for Christmas, Thanksgiving, or my birthday, but it felt like it was in the fall. And we're all in the kitchen. It's me. I don't know where my sister was. She was off somewhere, but my mom, my dad, my uncle, and my uncle's first wife, and my dad's cousin and her husband. So they're all in the kitchen. And I'm standing there in the middle of the kitchen, and I'm just, I like, you know, was looking up to the adults and grownups and seeing what they're up to because they were boisterous and laughing and probably drunk and or high. And my dad's cousin starts kind of like making out with her husband in the kitchen. And I'm like looking at them like, oh, what? And then I look to my left, and not to be outdone, my uncle starts like gesturing as if he's like basically banging his wife over the kitchen counter. and and the wife going along with it, like, and everyone's getting a kick out of it. I'm just sitting there like 7, 8 years old, like, yep, that's how you do it. That's what it. Just taking notes left and right in crayon on a napkin. So anybody who has ever pondered why is Neal the way he is, I mean, that is Exhibit A right there. Formative years, seeing family members just swapping spit and going backdoor in the kitchen. Oh boy. So that was my dad's birthday. Trying to, look through all those home videos. He would have been, I guess he would be 75 now. 75. Whoa. Who the fuck knows what he would be doing in retirement? Hopefully he would be retired by that point. Jesus Christ. But because I know his dad did not take kindly to retirement. It felt like he just kept on working and wanted to keep on working. I feel like my dad would be the same way. Can't see him just, he didn't, I don't know. It would be interesting to see what he would be up to in retirement. Would he be driving my mother nuts? Would my mother be in a much healthier physical condition now? Because it's at the point where she can't even using the walker doesn't work. I mean, that was tough to watch. It was the point where she's moving and she would move what would take I don't know what you want to call it, physically capable person, a minute, 2 minutes, takes her like 15 to 20 minutes. And then when she's done, she's in tears. So would she be in this current physical state and my dad was still alive? I'd like to think no, but Severance was the big trending show in the month of March. The search interest in the show was at an all-time high. There were some Severance definitions that were heavily searched, some words from the show, commonly associated with the show, that were being searched a lot. The first was verve. Verve is one of Lumen Industries' 9 core principles, a set of quasi-religious virtues. How dare you? That the company expects its employees and symbolically its sacrificial animals to embody. The 9 core principles, if you forgot, how could you, are vision, verve, wit, cheer, humility, benevolence, nimbleness, probity, and wiles. 2 of my faves. Verve specifically defined within the context of the show as representing vigor, spirit, and enthusiasm, a quality that Lumen values highly. When Drummond asks if the goat has verve before a sacrifice, he's essentially asking if the animal possesses enough energy, liveliness, and spiritedness to be considered worthy for the ritual. I guess they're going to get more into that in season 3, because that was a neat little curveball in season 2, but it's also like, did they ever? And I understand some shows will do that, where it's like not everything has an answer. We threw it in there because it was cool, eerie, creepy, mysterious, interesting, and there's just no explanation or context. I get it, but like, why are they sacrificing the goats? Did they explain that? Did they tell us? I forget. Drummond. Oof. How verve is used in the show. The mammalian's nurturable department presents a goat for sacrifice. Lorne, the goat herder, played by Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones, and Phasmer, Captain Phasma in Star Wars with the all chrome fit, dude. Oh, so cool. And the cape. And yeah, right here on Reddit, Captain Phasma is the most wasted character in all Star Wars. Pretty close. It's like Darth Maul 1, Phasma 2. So I was really pumped to see her. Couldn't place her at first, and then when they showed her like standing up next to the big dude, I was like, oh, fucking Brianna Tarth, what's up, girl? The presence of verve is seen as a necessary trait for the goat to fulfill its ritual purpose, to be entombed with a deceased person and guide their spirit to Keir Egan, the founder of Lumen. Okay. Sure. What's crazy is I feel like the majority of billionaires and like founders of mega companies are Looney Tunes. And they have these weird rituals, but it's lights something within them to lead and conquer, I guess. The use of verb in the context of both literal and symbolic. Wiles was another word that people search for. I have a friend named Wiley. I'm familiar with the Wiley Coyote, so that's where my mind goes when I hear Wiles. But in the show, like we said, it's one of the Lumen's 9 core principles. Wiles refers to clever tricks, strategies, or tactics used to manipulate, deceive, or persuade others. Implies a sense of cunning or craftiness, involves subtlety and psychological insight rather than brute force or direct action. Ugh, excuse. I'd like to. That's not a course that you see on Coursera or LinkedIn. It's like, that's a learning and development thing that I think we should learn more about. Wiles 101. In fact, like, my brain just went to a place where a light bulb went off. So, you know how, like, to promote season 2 of Severance, they had all the actors dress up and they encased them in a huge glass encasing, and they all had like their cubicles set up like it is in the show, and they placed them in the middle of Grand Central Station to kind of create awareness and visibility and promote the show. I don't know how they didn't think about doing like how-to videos or tutorial videos for like LinkedIn. Feels like a no-brainer. It's like, and just have those videos, be part of a course and people can watch the course. I mean, that's like, duh. I'll take 5% of that idea. No big deal. So yeah. Wiles and Verve. I just think of the Verve, the band, Bittersweet Symphony, which is the song that we played at our wedding, and how ironic and twisted and fitting and applicable that fucking song is to what ended up being my marriage and divorce. The bittersweet symphony that's life. We had like a little quartet play it, strings and whatnot. It's pretty cool. Looking back, foreshadowing. Efficacy was another one. Refers specifically to the effectiveness of Lumen's severance chip in achieving its intended goal, namely suppressing or controlling traumatic memories in its subjects. Clearly illustrated in the season 2 finale when Lumen conducts an efficacy test on Gemma to determine whether her severance chip is successfully preventing her from accessing painful memories, such as the loss of her child. Test involves observing Gemma's unemotional dismantling of a crib, which is could be a potential symbol of her trauma in the cold harbor room. Dr. Mara's observation, which, by the way, Dr. Mara, wow, what a casting job. Looks like the dad from the OC. I want to say his name's Peter Gallagher, a.k.a. Sandy Cohen on the OC. Peter Gallagher. I want to say this guy had the Peter Gallagher vibe. Was it him? There's no way it was actually him, right? Because I know Sandra Berhard was in the show as one of the, I almost said nurse. She's not a nurse. I don't think that's her official title, but I don't see it here, dude. Let's see here. Robbie Benson. Got kind of a Peter Gallagher vibe to him. Good looking dude. It's like, I hope I look like that when I'm 55. 10 years? Can it hold up? Will it hold up? You tell me. Dr. Mara's observation, the barrier is holding. She feels nothing. It's beautiful. Confirming the chip is working as intended. In real world terms, an efficacy test checks if a product works as intended is safe. So I know I'm supposed to say no to that chip. I know I'm supposed to say no to it because like you're bound to repeat. Like if you didn't have the painful memories, you wouldn't have learned from them, or you wouldn't be who you are today, and you're almost destined to repeat the same mistake. So I get it, but man, that show Severance came out right when I was going through like the worst part of my life. It debuted and premiered during probably the lowest part of my life. And I was like, sign me up, dude, to go to work and just be a totally different person who doesn't have all this painful whatever would be sweet. And then I see what ends up happening with the outies and the innies in this, and I'm like, yeah, that could get a little out of control, huh? Yeah. So outie was another one that people search for. I feel like that's a pretty clear-cut explanation. It's the version of the Lumen industry employee who exists outside of work. One of the best scenes. I mean, there were a ton of great scenes in this season, but one that stood out to me that I really appreciated and liked was the outie for Adam Scott's character, Mark. So outie Mark, basically assuming that any Mark would be cool with his plan, where it's like, well, you're gonna help me get my wife back, and then we're gonna get out of there. And it's like, yeah, but I really like Helly, and I want to stay with her, and I want to be with her. And he's like, well, Helly's, dude, you don't want to be with Helly. Like, Helly sucks. She's this corporate overlord, evil person. He's like, no, not my Helly. My Helly is sweet and nice and compassionate, blah, blah, blah. Like, I like her. And so it's like, and I guess there would be some critics that would think that whole scene, because they're at the cabin, right? The birthing cabin or whatever it's called. And the innie is inside the cabin, right? So when Mark walks through the door into the cabin, the innie turns on, and the innie is by the fire, right? Which symbolizes passion. It's that red aura, red, orange, and yellow aura. Friggin' sacral chakra. And so, because he's burning with passion for Helly, right? He's like on fire with passion, very emotional. And then you have outie Mark outside the cabin. So anytime the innie Mark goes through that door outside the cabin, he switches to outie Mark. And outie Mark is in the middle, like the snow, and it's freezing and it's cold, and you can see his breath because he is cold inside, right? He wants his wife back, but at the same time, like, he's lost that fire within him. Does that make sense? So that symbolism was not lost on me. I'm sure there are some critics over there that'd be like, well, they're hitting you over the head with it. It's so blatantly obvious and clear. It's like, da. And then you have the fat guy. What's his name? All right, I got to be better with names. Dylan's innie for his service gets to meet with his outie's wife, which the wife agrees to. They then kind of fall for each other and they kiss. And the outie Dylan's pissed. And it's like, I kind of get it, but I kind of don't. Like, it's still you, dude. Like, it's you. I know you don't know, you don't think it's you, but it's not this totally other different guy. It's like, I don't know. Seems like a pretty ripe business opportunity for someone. Like, hey, has the passion in your marriage disappeared? Get an innie and let that dude reignite the spark. But no, obviously I don't have that one work. But he did. There was one part where like the Audi's wife breaks it off with innie Dylan, and he does this like kind of like it's not a scream, but like a screech. It was just like, it caught me off guard. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I don't think that's gonna win her back, bro. Like, sound like a peacock, which could be a thing, you know. When dudes peacock, it usually attracts the ladies. So yeah, my innie. I wonder what my innie would be like. It'd probably have like a sweet gold aura. Probity, peabody. And Severance, probity is one of Lumen Industries' 9 core principles. Probity specifically means complete and confirmed integrity, uprightness, and strict honesty in character and actions. Someone who demonstrates strong moral principles, decency, and ethical behavior, especially in persons of trust and responsibility. Lumen uses probity as a corporate ideal, expecting workers to act with unwavering honesty and integrity, aligning their personal conduct with the company's quasi-religious standards. Designed to unite employees under a shared moral code. So, probity. One of my, so Seth, who is the taking over, Milchek, who's taking over for Harmony Cobell, Patricia Arquette, uses a lot of big words, right? And I appreciate those big words because it's like you live long enough on this planet and you figure, I've heard all the words. Okay, there are no more words to know or learn. I know them all. Unless it's like internet slang. Then I have to look it up. Like cozymaxxing and floodlighting. But the Seth Milchek just drops like heaters, bangers, words that are just like, that's not a real word. Sure enough, it is. But one of the funnier parts of the season was the fact that he gets his performance review and they're like, you use too many big words. And then they give him like a nicely bound, laminated book, glossy paper. It's like the amount of money that they must have spent on these fucking performance review books seems wasteful. Doesn't seem very prudent. But it was just like one uses too many big words. And then it has like a whole explanation beneath the caption of the heading. I was just like, I feel for you, dog. Like you just can't be yourself. You can't just speak your native tongue of wit. So it sucks. It is crazy, you know, some of the stuff that people will put in performance reviews. I still think about how I got like a really great performance review was awarded a raise of the maximum amount and then placed on a PIP. It's like, wait a second, what's going on here? With my performance? Huh? What? Like you said, my performance is great and it deserves this maximum raise, but then what? I still need to improve it? Okay. What's going on? Office Siren was also trending. Fashion trend that combines classic corporate attire with bold, sexy twist, aiming to project confidence, power, while visually striking, culturally resonant, is more of a style statement than a practical dress code for most real world offices. Yeah, I think people are just horned up, you know? I think people are like, you know, we went through like a 2-ish year period where I had to socially distance and like whatever. And then it's like, but yeah, why not? Let's all dress sexy as hell going into the office and see what happens. Do we get more work done, less work done? I'm thinking less work. I just remember when I was working at Daily Motion, we had an intern who was like either junior or senior, like summer after junior year or summer after senior year in college, or maybe like fresh out of college. I think she was a volleyball player, like just tall, lean woman. And she would wear outrageous outfits to work, where it was just like the shortest of shorts and like belly shirts, so you can see her belly button. And I think someone had to talk to her, and it was just like, well, you know, I mean, like, wait till the end of the week. Let's just wait till the end of the week, or maybe like the end of the fiscal year. Let's just wait till the end of the internship. She's only got like 2 or 3 more months. That was cool. Pie Day was a thing. Again, people are love Pie Day. And so I thought I'd take a look at the most searched pies. Oreo apple pie. I don't know if I'm down with that. What is an Oreo apple pie? Graham flavored wafers, apple pie flavored creme. I don't hate it. I don't think I just never had an Oreo with an apple. Believe it or not, dude. Never had it. So my daughter was obsessed with Oreos for a very long time, but I haven't had it in the crib of late. And she hasn't really complained. She always gets the chocolate all over her mouth. I think I've said this before, but there was a picture that I took where I don't know if I just didn't see it or I wasn't focusing or concentrating, but I took a picture of her because I guess she completed something, but she had just eaten a chocolate donut. And so she had chocolate on her upper lip, but it looked like a Hitler mustache. I was just like, and I ended up posting it and I was just like, you know what? We're all going to look back on this and laugh. Scotch pie was another one that was trending. I think that if it's just like a pie with scotch in it, I just asked AI, Scotch pie question mark? And it knows what I was meaning when I was asking. Thanks, AI. Scotch pie is a traditional Scottish double crust meat pie, most commonly filled with minced mutton, lamb or beef, also known as mutton pie, shell pie, mincy pie, or football pie, due to its popularity at football matches in Scotland. What? I can't imagine going to like a Giants game and being like, yeah, can I get a pot pie, please? Yes, pot pie. With the mutton, yes. That's wild. Toppings are mashed potatoes, baked beans, gravy, or an egg. Can be eaten hot or cold. Whoa. Okay. So, I don't know. You know what? Throw it on the bucket list. Gotta head to Scotland. Go to I don't want to say my motherland, but there's parts of me that come from Scotland. Try a Scotch pie at the football match. Florida shrimp pie was another one that was trending. The hell's in a Florida shrimp pie? Dear God. You thought mutton pie was kind of nasty. What about Florida shrimp pie? I have a feeling I'm going to end up liking this. Whoa. Okay. Savory, creamy seafood pie inspired by the flavors of Florida's coastline. Features tender shrimp, rich cheese filling, flaky pie crust, making it a popular choice for brunch, lunch, light dinner, or as a party appetizer. It's got the pie crust, shrimp, cheese, eggs, milk, veggies, seasonings, fresh herbs. Yeah, so it's kind of like a quiche, but instead of what have you, it's got the shrimps. Oh, I don't know. I think if I'm in Florida, I'd eat it, but anywhere else, I might be a little like Louisiana. Like the Gulf Coast is like the only place that I would think about trying to eat that. Anywhere else, I'd be a little suspect. Whew. What a roller coaster. I actually applied to a job with the New York Giants. They had me, and I actually heard back from them. And they did this thing where I don't think I've done this. I might have done this with Major League Baseball. I don't think I've done it with many other places, but they basically give you a link. You click the link, you go to this page. It asks you 3 questions, and you have to record yourself on video responding to the questions. You get three takes per question. I used all 3 takes for all 3 questions. And part of me is like, man, I really hope that they like, I know it says I'm only submitting one and they will only see one, but I don't trust it. I think they have access to the other takes. And I hope that's not the case, because there was one take where I just straight up gave up. I was just like, blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah, did not get the offer, did not get the position, did not get the role. Would have been a digital platform coordinator for the New York Football Giants. That would have been pretty dang sweet. I would have done everything in my power to keep that job if possible. Then again, I mean, I called the SNY job a dream job, and it still gives me nightmares. Ha ha. So yeah, that stung a little bit, because it was like I felt like I gave really good answers, but they don't give you any feedback. It's just like, hey, thank you for letting me know. You know, I followed up, and the guy was like, yeah, we're going with someone else. And I followed up. I was like, do you have any feedback whatsoever? Was it the way I look? I can change my face. I know it's hard, but I know a guy. who can change faces. I just need to get Nick Cage on the horn. So, yeah, it sucks I didn't get that. If you were an animal, what animal would you be and why? This was on a job application that I had to fill out for one of those creative agencies. I get it. They want to see how your creative mind works. I get it. But it's like, to the amount of hoops we've talked about in the past, the amount of hoops that we have to go through in order to get a job now. It's just like incredible. So I used to think I was a turtle or a rhinoceros, preferably a sea turtle. I think I dig sea turtles a hell of a lot more than the land variety. Or a rhinoceros. I mean, I've been down with the rhino from day one. I'm a day one rhino guy. But I asked AI like I do anytime I have a question. Google does not exist in my head anymore. Google's not a thing. Their stock is tanking, which sucks because I think I do own Google stock. But I just go to AI and I ask AI. And so basically I fed it all of my job descriptions and my resume and maybe even my LinkedIn profile. And I was like, what animal am I? Just to see if it aligned with what I was thinking. And it said I'm closer to a honeybee or an octopus. And I on the job application, I went with octopus. Honeybee was interesting because it was like, honeybee. So it's like, damn, like I'm a worker. I work hard to produce that sweet, sweet nectar. I get it. Pollinate, I'm not averse to pollinating here and there, everywhere. I get it. I bow down to the queen, obviously. Queen bee, love you. But I went with octopus, and here's why. Multitasking ability. Octopi have 8 arms working simultaneously, and I've demonstrated the ability to manage multiple projects across different platforms and teams. Adaptability. Octopi are known for their remarkable adaptability, changing both color and texture to suit their environment. I mean, I feel like I do that like every social situation I'm in. I'm like, I quickly, like if I'm in the South, the Southern comes out of me. If I'm in Massachusetts, that like the masshole comes out of me. It's like wherever I am, I like quickly am adapting to that situation to blend in and to fit in. Pathetic. Intelligence. Octopi are among the most intelligent invertebrates, and I know a lot of people say that about me. I'm a very smart invertebrate. Known for their problem-solving abilities. Data, so, okay, I'll take it. Have I solved a lot of the problems in my life? Nay. But when it comes to work, it's like if I could just apply what I do at work to what is happening in my personal life, like it's a whole new ball game after that. Detail-oriented. Octopi are precise in their movements. Mirrors my meticulous attention to detail. Which I know there are some people out there like, what? You're detail-oriented? You have attention to detail? No, you don't, dude. When it comes to work, I don't know. It's like maybe I do have the chip installed from Severance. Maybe that's the innie me. Is just like attention to detail, and I get out of work and it's just like boom. Get fucked up, get fucked up, get fucked up, get fucked up. Say what? What is this? So in strategic thinking was the last one. An octopus carefully plans its moves. Wow. Always working to specific goals and metrics. I got it. So I never thought of myself as an octopus, but dang, I think I like being a puss. That's in my DNA. And maybe that could be a logo. Thinking about it, ruminating, wheels are turning. I wouldn't hate that being the brand. Although I think there already is like an octopus logo. It's for like, was it Squid Ink or something? Company? No, that's not it. It's like no, dude. Of course, what was the other? Oh no. Isn't there like a famous one that's octopus logo? Yeah, there's that one. Okay, got it. Well, maybe I could, I don't know, maybe I could like, I don't know, put like a twist on it, you know what I'm saying? Throw like an extra arm on there. So I thought that was cool. I'm an octopus, baby. Not a lot of people. I don't know, unless you're into like hentai. Or what's the other one? I forget what the other one is. You know, like the kinky anime type stuff. A lot of tentacles in hentai. A lot of tentacles going on. So maybe I need to get into that. Yeah. So octopus, pretty spot on. I'm grimy, slimy, slippery. I suck, squishy. And I try to camouflage myself to not be noticed. I try to blend into the wall and the floor just so no one looks at me. No eye contact. How to make a leprechaun trap was trending. My daughter, dear God, and I guess this is what they're teaching at school now with St. Patrick's Day. Like, I don't. Okay, I don't know. Why are we trying to trap all these fucking people? Why are we trying to trap Santa? Why are we trying to trap the tooth fairy? Why are we trying to trap the Easter bunny? Why are we trying to trap a friggin' leprechaun? Let them be, dude. They're wild creatures. They belong in the wild. They're free range. Okay? We don't need to be trapping them or capturing them. Just let them be. Okay? She wanted to make a leprechaun trap. She wasn't going to be with me on St. Patrick's Day. So thank God, because I was like, oh man, this sucks, but the schedule just does not work for me. Damn. Really want to make that leprechaun trap with you and to actually try and use it and test it out. And then I had, like, so thankfully I didn't have to go through with it. I was like, the day that I actually have her on St. Patrick's Day and she's still into this, like, it's going to be bad news bears. That's going to be tough to pull off. But she was asking me all kinds of questions about leprechauns, like how big are they? Has anyone caught one? And I was like, to my knowledge, as far as I know, no one has captured a leprechaun, to my knowledge. And then I said, I mean, they're magical creatures, dude. Like they're just like, they can disappear with this like poof, be gone. Just the like little glitter and dust behind them. Like they're magical. There's no way. You would need some kind of force field, plasma, if you will, 0 point energy, black hole. So I did think about it a little bit. I was like, well, I guess I could use a laundry basket. And she was like, well, how does the leprechaun get into our house? And I was like, oh, that's a great question. I mean, I think the pat answer here across the board is magic. And that's something that we humans just don't really fully grasp. I know there are magicians. Maybe we could ask a magician like Matt Cadabra. Call back. But yeah. And then she was like, how big are leprechauns? And I was like, well, they're not that big. And I think they can get pretty small. And I think they can change their size. Like they're almost like Ant-Man in that way. Like they can shrink, but they can't get too big. I know they can't get like Giant Man. Mostly like Ant-Man stuff. Oh boy. How tall are leprechauns? That's what she asked me. And I was like, well, if I had to guess, like I just think about the movie Leprechaun with Jennifer Aniston, and it's like that dude is like a little person. You know, I'm gonna say like 3 feet tall. Boom, 3 feet tall. Nailed it. They can be as short as 2 feet, but they're usually between 2 and 3 feet in height. And then, of course, some modern pulp culture depicts them as even smaller, just a few inches tall. What I told her was like, yeah, they're like 2 to 3 feet tall. You are probably taller than a leprechaun at this point. Congratulations. Top of the morning to you. But I was like, I think they can also disappear, and I think they can also shrink. And and I basically, my mind went to that video of the dude who's like, everybody's seen that leprechaun, say yeah. And I was like, listen, there are videos of people who have claimed to see the leprechaun. Lots of people. But there's been no proof. So looking forward to making the leprechaun trap next year. Colcannon was trending. It's an Irish mashed potato recipe. Mixture of creamy mashed potatoes and usually kale or cabbage, which, okay. I think I like that a lot. I don't think I've ever had it. It almost, I mean, at first blush, kind of looks like spinach artichoke dip, which I'm a huge fan of, to the point where it's like I had to ban myself for spinach artichoke dip, dude. It's like I could. Ooh, I'm gonna go on a limb and say that I can gain 10 pounds in a weekend. That feels very easy to me. I've done 5 pounds in a weekend, a little more than 5 pounds in a weekend. I think I can hit 10. There's a lot of good tasting shit out there, dude. Potatoes mashed with butter and milk with chopped up cabbage and pot herbs. It can also contain scallions, leeks, laverbread, whatever the shit that is, onions, and chives. Some recipes substitute cabbage with kale. There are regional variations, often eaten with boiled ham, of course. Salt pork or Irish bacon can be paired with corned beef and cabbage. Damn. You know, I haven't really had a full-blown homemade St. Patrick's Day meal. I've gone to some, Irish pubs and had Irish food prepared by the restaurant on St. Patrick's Day, but like in terms of making it or having it homemade, sitting down and enjoying a homemade St. Patrick's Day meal, haven't had it happen. Add it to the list. Irish potato candy is another one that was trending in relation to St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day. What? St. Patrick's Day? St. Patrick's Day. Irish potato candy is a traditional candy from Philly, despite its name is not from Ireland and does not usually contain any potato. Never change, Philly. The candies have a coconut cream inside and are rolled in cinnamon on the outside, resulting in an appearance reminiscent of small potatoes, dude. Oh. Dear God. Philly and I have a very bittersweet love-hate relationship, and this is why. Because that sounds amazeballs. I mean, it's basically, it's almost like a like Hush Puppies meets, I don't know, like I had jalapeno cheddar bites, donut holes or something like that from a local eatery that just opened up recently. It's pretty tasty. This looks like it's real good, dude. And they do mostly, from the pictures I'm looking at, look like potatoes. So, oh boy, I would be the belle of the ball if I made that shit and brought it to a party. Grasshopper pie. I know, doesn't really tickle the fancy, does it? But what's in this shit? Come on now, grasshopper pie. Hit me with it. No? AI's like, a classic no-bake American dessert known for its creamy mint-flavored filling and chocolate cookie crust. It gets its name and flavor from the grasshopper cocktail, which features creme de menthe and creme de cacao. Chocolate cookie crust, minty filling, whipped cream, green food coloring, possibly some toppings, minty filling, mousse-like mixture created by melting marshmallows with milk or half and half, flavoring with creme de menthe and creme de cacao. Cacao. I got desperate. Shocker. Where I was like, I was low on booze and I was like, I don't really feel like going out to the store and getting more. Let's see what I got laying around. And I looked in the liquor cabinet and was like, Aperol liqueur, some kind of like not Jamaican rum, something else that was just like maybe Kahlua, like 7-year-old Kahlua. Like, what is the expiration date on this? And then creme de menthe. So I was like, I'll throw a little creme de menthe in there. Why the fuck not? And it was actually, when diluted, it's a nice little refresher. That being said, I don't know if I'm in on grasshopper pie. I don't know. There was a pub by where we used to live in Wayne. Oh, that's not it. Yeah. The Grasshopper 2, TOO. I think we only went there like once, maybe twice. And I think one of the days was actually on St. Patrick's Day, or at least around St. Patrick's Day. And I don't remember being too hyped about it, which sucks. I always wanted to have like the bar. Like when we lived in Allendale, you could just walk down to ABG, just like literally a 2-minute walk. Like the ability to just like get out of the house and not have to drive and walk to a bar. That's my dream. I've said this before, I'll say this again. I'm a simple man with simple desires and cravings. If you just give me a house, doesn't have to be a big house, and down the street is a bar that I can walk to, sold. That house could be literally teetering on the brink of collapse, infested with all kinds of rodents and pests. It's cool, man. I got the bar right down the street. That's all I need. Kegerator, and if I'm feeling frisky, bar down the street. That's literally the two things I need in my life, and I'm set. Looking at the map, the most uniquely searched green foods ahead of St. Patrick's Day. We got a little creme de menthe mousse in South Carolina. Huh? Shamrock cookies and rainbow dip in friggin' Washington. Hello. Or is that Oregon? No, it's Washington. Friggin' pesto in Oregon and Nevada. Dude, come on, wake up. Pepperoncini chicken salad up there in North Dakota. Love it. Shamrock shake in Montana. Hell yeah. Green eggs and ham in California. Grow up. Pistachio lime shortbread in Delaware. I mean, I don't hate it. Grasshopper whoopie pies in Florida. Never change. Shamrock cake in either Alabama or Mississippi. God damn, I get them mixed up all the time. Mint brownies. I'm out on mint brownies. That's like Iowa and Wisconsin. I can't do it. Can't bring myself to do it. I love brownies. Mint is kind of hit or miss with me. Green monster cookies in Minnesota. Huh? Okay. Irish spinach salad in New Hampshire. Key lime pie in Vermont. Interesting. Pistachio sheet cake in PA. Pea soup in Maine. Maine, what are you doing? I tell you what, I am Jello shots in Kentucky. Fuck yeah. Green mimosa in West Virginia. Hell yeah. Green Jello shot in Virginia. Hell yeah. They know how to party right there in that little belt. Pistachio cake was not sheet cake, but pistachio cake with like chocolate frosting was my go-to dessert for like birthdays and cakes growing up. That was like what my mommy made. It was like pistachio cake with chocolate chips, or it was just the straight up yellow cake with the chocolate chips and the chocolate frosting. Oh, god damn, it's good. But mint brownies, no thanks. Irish margarita in Texas. What are you doing to me, Texas? What's in an Irish margarita? I mean, I think I have a goddamn clue, but I want to say it's probably just, vodka? Probs. Combining tequila with Irish whiskey. Oh, yeah. Okay. Jameson and tequila. Ooh, shit. Yes. Okay. Sign me up. I'm down. And then what was the other one I saw here? Green spaghetti in Arizona. What? Shamrock pie in a cup that's got to be Colorado, yeah? I dig it. There was another one over here I missed. Where was it? Oh, Louisiana. No, not Alabama. It's got to be Alabama, right? Yeah, it's Mississippi. Alabama, though. Maybe that is Mississippi. It's so sad. I get it. They just look like mirror images of each other. It's like I can name every other state on this freaking map, but Alabama and Mississippi constantly throw me off. Similar to like a little similar to like Vermont, New Hampshire always throws me off. And now Wyoming, Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado throw me off a little bit too. But Shamrock Shake cocktail, dude. A little dessert, little aperitif or something like that. Digestif. That's like a one and done thing. I don't think you could do more than one of those. So good on you, America. Green deviled egg in New Jersey. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Green sugar sprinkles in New York. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Must be like never mind. Yeah, so that's that. Cozymaxxing? What is cozymaxxing? It's a viral self-care and wellness trend that centers on maximizing comfort and relaxation by intentionally engaging in multiple soothing activities and creating a sensory-rich, calming environment. The term blends cozy with maxing, implying a deliberate effort to reach the highest level of coziness possible, which, I scoffed at this when I first saw it. I was like, this fucking generation, they're fucking stupid slang, their terms and their things and their whatnots and their trends and their fads and their virality. This I could get behind. I would love to be on a mission to find like the coziest possible setup. It's going to cost some dough. I know that. I don't think you can't TJ Maxx Cozy Max. I don't think. So the core principles, much like Lumen has their 9 core principles, cozymaxxing has their core principles. Layering comfort rituals. So cozymaxxing involves combining several self-soothing practices at once, such as wrapping up in soft blankets, sipping warm drinks, lighting scented candles, reading a book, or listening to calming music to create a deeply comforting atmosphere. I mean, this, I guess, isn't this just winter? This feels like that's winter for me. Could I get softer blankets? Yes, definitely. My daughter embodies cozymaxxing. Like, she refuses to wear anything that is the slightest bit uncomfortable or discomforting. Like, and not just like, it has to be like, if I don't feel like it's not that the clothes have to make her feel comfortable. Like, there's nothing below that. So it's not like the clothes she has are uncomfortable, discomforting, and she won't wear it. It's like they don't provide any comfort to her whatsoever. Like if she just has a neutral feeling when she puts on her leggings or her pants or a shirt, nope, discard. Next. So yeah, I think she's bad about it. I feel like my niece and my ex-girlfriend's daughter were like that too. They're both 12. And it's just like the amount of stuffed fucking animals these girls have is just absurd. The one, my ex-girlfriend's daughter, she had like a bag, like almost a beanbag chair. Yeah, it was basically like the size of, if not bigger than a beanbag chair, all stuffed animals. And that was just in the basement. And then she had another bag of all stuffed animals, beanbag, in her bedroom. And she just would lay on the couch and like immerse herself and submerge herself in stuffed animals. And I same with my niece. Like I didn't realize this was happening. Maybe I missed it. Maybe it's like a tween thing. But like when I went down there to visit, I was like, you know what? I'll just sleep over at grandma's on the twin bed. And you sleep in your own bed. I don't think I should be sleeping in your bed. You sleep in your own bed. I know it's frustrating to sleep in the room with the 3 younger kids. You sleep in your bed. And I went into her bedroom and it was just like rows upon rows of stuffed animals. Just like you're not gonna be able to open the door pretty soon. Like this, you're just gonna, and I think she's okay with that. Like, this is how I go. I'm just going to suffocate. And it'll be sweet suffocation amongst my stuffies. But you want to engage the senses. Using warmth, texture, lighting, scent, and ambiance to foster a sense of safety and calm can help reduce stress and support mental well-being. Yeah. I got to look into this, maybe. I wouldn't mind this one bit. There are no strict rules. I should hope not, dude. Rules are the opposite of cozy. There's no single way to practice cozy maxing, thank God. If you were a cozy maxing Nazi, there's a rocket ship I would like you to board. Destination unknown. It's about personalizing your environment and routines to what feels most comforting and relaxing to you. What's most comforting and relaxing to me? Why it's popular. It's a response to hustle culture. Cozy maxing has gained traction as a counter movement to the constant pressure for productivity, often offering permission to pause and prioritize rest and self-care. Yeah, there was a time where I had a text message with my ex-girlfriend and she was like, "You gonna record tonight?" And I was like, "No." And she was like, "Oh." And I was like, "Are you upset with me for not being productive?" It's just, yikes, dude. It's tough. I struggle with it because it's like you have these people that are like, you only live once and sleep is for the weak or whatever. And it's just like, but then I need the sleep. And I've been told that there are times where I just need to meditate and think about nothing for fucking an hour at a time. I just like when you get to the gate and Pete's like, "Oh, dude, I don't know. Like you spent a lot of time just sitting there with your eyes closed and like they're like, you didn't do anything. And like you cleared your mind, but like, dude, shit need to be get done. Look how many hours you wasted on this meditation bullshit." Yeah. So I'm down with cozy maxing. Snuggle up with blankets and pillows. Check. Drink a warm beverage, tea or cocoa. Check. And maybe throw in a little booze. And didn't hurt nobody. Light candles or use soft lighting. Okay. Read, journal, or listen to soothing music. I wish I could like listen to soothing music, but it hits the frequency, stimulates. And I understand that we're supposed to be calm and we're supposed to be relaxing, but like a frequency hits a part of your brain where you're still relaxing, but then it unleashes your creativity and it makes you speak out all your ideas. And if I could record that, I think we're talking solid gold. Engage in comforting hobbies like knitting or coloring. I'll tell you what, I said this before, but I used to laugh, mock, ridicule, and look down upon these adult coloring books. And I actually ended up getting one for my sister. She definitely doesn't use it just because she is a maniac. Just constantly, you want to talk about like productivity. This woman does not rest. I don't think she sleeps anymore. So like, she's just a busy chick. So I can't imagine her ever doing cozy maxing. But I got her an adult coloring book. And then I think there was, I forget what trip it was going down there, but they all had coloring books. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And goddamn, if it didn't ease my soul, ease the tension, ease the worry, it was like a nice little activity. I dug it a lot. Disconnect from devices to fully relax. Okay. I could probably do that. I think maybe not. It's funny to think that my mother like loves knitting and sewing and quilting, which are all supposed to be comforting hobbies, but then has Fox News on 24/7. Those two things are diametrically opposed. Like I cannot those are opposite ends of the spectrum. Like Fox News is the oppo of comforting and relaxing. It's just constantly like Panda Watch, build the wall, nuke alert, immigrants, transgender. Like it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna lay in bed for a little bit. Cozy maxing is related to concepts like hygge, the Danish idea of coziness, and nesting stands up by encouraging the deliberate maximal combination. Maximal, that feels like that's not a word. Maximum, maximal. Maximal is like those fucking action figures, weren't they? Where it's like animals. It's almost like the Dinobots from Transformers. Like they're Transformers where it's like they're animals, but then they can also transform into something else. Wasn't that a maximal? Am I losing it? Yeah, you're losing it. Yeah, from Transformers. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, this is the most recent Transformers had it. And they got a fucking rhino. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Rise of the Beasts. Maximals. So, what? Maximal combination of comfort-focused rituals rather than minimalist or pure aesthetic approach. Maximal combination. Nesting. Yeah, my daughter is cozymaxxing to the max, dude. For sure. She tries to wear the most comforting clothes that are cozy. Whenever we're on the couch or in the living room and we're like, setting up shop to watch a TV show or a movie and it's a home day or we get to relax, she is like building a fortress of coziness, dude. It's just like, let's bring out all the pillows, all the soft blankets, all the stuffies, and we're just gonna, you ever lay on a cloud, bro? How about you plop down on this little bad boy that I've arranged for you? Refers to intentionally creating spaces that foster feelings of calm, warmth, and safety. Encourage you to rest, relax, and generally look after yourself because no one else is, dude. Giving yourself permission to prioritize comfort and relaxation, using all your senses and favorite rituals to create a personal sanctuary anytime you need it. Yeah, I need to look into this shit for sure. Hey, question. Do cats fast in Ramadan? That was something that was trending in March. The trend was driven by a combination of viral videos showing cats' confused or sleepy reactions to Ramadan routines. There are some pre-dawn meals. Should I try to pronounce it? Sirhul. Nope. But it's where the Muslim folks, they get up super early before the sun and to eat. And that's when the cats are like, wait, what's going on? It's nighttime. Why are we up? And so that prompted a lot of non-practicing peeps, non-Muslims, those who do not celebrate Ramadan, to ask if the animals fast during Ramadan. So do cats fast during Ramadan? And the answer is no. Man, would that be fucked if they did? Either it's like involuntary fasting where it's like, no, hey, listen, this is just like the law of the land. Sorry, it applies to all creatures, not just humans. And cats are like, wait, what? What? No, dude. Wait, I never said I was. No, I never said. I never took the oath. Or if it's voluntary and the cats actually are like solidarity, that also would be like a little concerning. Be like, okay, cats are sentient. Cats have grown. They are aware and they are just scheming and plotting. The opportunity for cultural sharing and humor during a significant religious observance. So do cats fast in Ramadan? Nay. Although if any animal could, it's probably the cat. Those bitches. Damn, those jerks. Although aren't cats like the first kind of animal that like when you die, they start eating you? I feel like cats are like dogs. It's like, they're like, they really torture themselves over it. Dogs are just like, I don't know, man. I mean, we've been together forever, dude. 14 years. And he's just like, I think he's playing dead right now. He's probably playing dead. So I'm just going to let it be. We'll come back. I'll just lick his face a lot. I'll get a taste. I'll just get a taste. Cats are like, I'm going to start at the toe. We'll move up the leg. And should I keep up going the one side of the body or should I go the other leg after I'm done with the first leg? I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So I feel like cats will eat your dead body first amongst all the animals. So maybe they are least prone to fasting. I mean, just take a look at fucking Garfield, dude. That fat ass. Just housing lasagna and everything else in his wake. So, tough to say. Floodlighting was a dating trend that was happening. What is the floodlighting dating trend? Floodlighting is a dating trend where someone shares intensely personal, emotional, or vulnerable information very early in a relationship, often before a foundation of trust and intimacy has been established. That bothers me, that definition, because it doesn't give me any kind of clarity. Because like, when do you know when the foundation of trust and intimacy has been established? Now, Okay, I get it. First date, you probably don't want to come out the gate with all the skeletons. I get it. But like that's all I see from women is like, you gotta be vulnerable. You're not vulnerable. You gotta be more vulnerable. And then you're vulnerable and they're like, oh, sorry, I have to go. So yeah, that's it's one of the trickiest things in the goddamn world, I feel like, because you hold back that information because you don't want to scare the other person away. And then it builds up inside you, creates this tension, internal conflict, debate about whether or not you should share it because you're scared of how the other person reacts. It's like, well, we have this good thing. Maybe you don't need to know about it. Like, let's just not. This is good, right? What we have. So, but to have a person open up to you and tell you a secret, be like, I've never told anyone this before, and then tell you the secret, and then dump you 2 months later. Interesting. The term is popularized by researcher Brene Brown, describes a kind of emotional oversharing that aims to fast track intimacy or test whether a potential partner can handle the sharer's baggage. I will say this. I mean, I guess I kind of did this in my last relationship where it was just like, but in my head, it was like, we're both in our 40s. We're not in our 20s. Like, let's just lay the cards on the table and see what's up. You know what I mean? Like, why should we waste our time doing this dance? And I guess that's, ultimately what I think women would appreciate and like more is they rhyme. Romance, dance, romance. I get it. But yeah. I don't think I overshared. If anything, it was like I thought I was I thought I was emptying the chamber on this broad. And it turns out like she's like, I don't know anything about you. Although she does, I mean, she said that she has memory issues. So that probably plays into it too. Where it's like, I kind of told you everything about my life, but maybe I'll make it a little bit better this time around. So has that happened to me? I'm sure it has. And it does. It's a little scary. I mean, I guess that happened at a wedding where I was placed next to a woman who was single and I was single. And it was like, you guys both like the Mets, right? And it's like, oh, cool. And then it was like within 5 minutes therapy talk. And I was just like, I don't know, this feels a little early. It's a little early. How floodlighting works. The floodlighter reveals deep personal details such as past traumas, family issues, or insecurities on the first few dates, or even before the appetizers arrive. Whoa, dude, I know better than that. Never before the appetizers. Maybe midway through appetizers? Maybe endless apps, just so you never get to the traumas. Yeah. This behavior is meant to accelerate closeness, gauge the other person's emotional openness, or preemptively test for acceptance or rejection. Unlike healthy vulnerability, which develops gradually and reciprocally, floodlighting is often one-sided and can overwhelm the recipient, making the relationship feel intense but unstable. I get it. Yeah, it's like it takes two to tango, two-way street, right? You want to like drop a little bit of a nugget here, a little breadcrumb. And if they take it, great. If not, you're just like, okay. And then they drop a little breadcrumb and you're like, oh, okay. Oh, all right. You have my breadcrumb. I'll take your breadcrumb. And that's enough. That's enough for tonight. Tomorrow, maybe a little bit more of the breadcrumb. So I get it. But I've always been like, I don't know. I've always been of the mindset that, that it's, I don't know. I think it's my impatience with dating. It's like, I'd rather kind of just like get it all out there at once and be like, huh? It's a lot, but once you're done processing, it hit me up. Never works. Why people engage in floodlighting? Many who floodlight have anxious attachment styles. Yeah. You need to listen to the last episode where I talked about attachment styles and figure out which attachment style I am. Judging by my response, I think we all know which one I am. And are eager to know if their flaws will be accepted. Okay. Yeah, it would be great to know. Some may not realize they're doing it and may use it as a way to seek reassurance or validation. Okay. The rise of therapy culture, dating apps, and social media has normalized deep emotional discussions, sometimes leading people to overshare before a natural connection is built. Yeah, I would say I don't bring things out of the blue. It's typically like, oh, this triggers this and this sparks that. And it's just the way conversation works. So I would imagine floodlighting is like, well, you didn't ask this or you asked this, but I'm going to like completely take a hard left turn into Traumaville, Trauma Town. And we're going to get verklempt. So yeah, I get that part of it. It can be overwhelming. It can create false intimacy. It can be manipulative, and there's a risk of exploitation. So, is it always toxic? Not necessarily. Sharing it's not sharing in and of itself. It's sharing a lot early on to force a connection. That's the issue. Motivation behind the sharing that matters. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. I don't think I've done that. It's usually there's a question, there's some prompting going on. It's not like just out of the blue, out of left field. I'm just like, check this out. How do you like that on your plate? Oh, here come the appetizers. The red balloon theory in grief. I thought this was interesting. Red balloons can serve as comforting signs or messages from loved ones who have passed away. The theory resonated deeply with people navigating loss, suggesting that the sudden appearance of a red balloon, whether drifting by, appearing in a photo, or found unexpectedly, might be more than coincidence, but a symbolic connection or hello from someone missed. Immediately my head goes to it doesn't in the movie It, both the original and the remake, isn't the clown Penny whatever Wise Worth, isn't he holding a red balloon? So it's like, does that mean like you're about to lose? You're about to be the person that's lost. The red balloon's vivid, unmistakable image stands out as a simple symbol, much like the enduring presence of a loved one's memory offers a bridge between the worlds of the living and the departed. Like in Coco, one of my favorite movies. Grief experts and psychologists noted that finding meaning in such symbols is a healthy part of the grieving process, helping people maintain ongoing bonds with those who they've lost. Which honestly, I would not have pictured that community of mental health experts to say that. Like it feels borderline like not denial, delusion. Like to me, it's like, oh, yeah, but you have to move on. Like that red balloon is not the person you lost. It's a red balloon, dude. It's rubber filled with air. So that surprises me that experts would think that's healthy. But I mean, it's not just red balloons. I've seen it like when I was down in South Carolina for spring break with my daughter. We were sitting on the bench and we're watching the kids engage in the Easter egg hunt. And my mom goes, "Oh, look, a red cardinal." And I think she said it was her mom or her dad, because her mom and dad have both passed away. And she's like, "Oh, it's so-and-so coming to visit." And it's not the first time. It's not just my mother who thinks that. I really believe that that's like a common thing where, your red cardinal is someone reincarnated or your whoever that you lost. It's coming to check up on you and visit you. Dude, all I know is like, if I come back as a red cardinal, I'm not staying outside. I'm flying in the house. I'm looking at my daughter. I'm like gonna keep an eye on her. I'm flying everywhere with her. I'm not just checking in like once a millennium. I know like the butterfly in Heretic. If you've ever seen the movie Heretic with Hugh Grant, there's not a storyline, but a couple scenes where the one of the Mormon ladies says that she believes that a butterfly, whenever she sees a butterfly, it's someone that she's lost coming in and checking on her, visiting her. And I don't know. I mean, maybe it's the case of like, there's a lot of people I got to visit, dude. I can't just be with you all the time. So maybe that's, part of it. Like the Cardinals, like I got like 15 other family members I got to hit up today. Like you're not, there's more people out there than just you, dude. And then I also think about the 99 Red Balloon song. Does that take on a whole new meaning? Yeah. In fact, I got to look it up. What is the meaning of the 99 Red Balloons song? The song 99 Red Balloons, originally 99 Luftballons by Nina, is a powerful anti-war anthem that uses the story of 99 balloons released into the sky as a metaphor for the dangers of military escalation and the absurdity of war. Lyrics describe how the harmless act of releasing 99 balloons is misinterpreted by military forces as a threat mistaken for UFOs or enemy aircraft. This misunderstanding triggers a chain reaction. Military jets are scrambled, show of force ensues, tensions between nations escalate rapidly, situation spirals out of control, leading to a catastrophic war devastates everything, all because of a simple, innocent event. The song's climax reveals the futility and tragedy of such conflict. After 99 years of war, there are no winners, only ruins. Narrator walks through the ashes of the destroyed world, finding a single balloon and lets it go, symbolizing both remembrance and the hope of letting go the cycle of violence. So, kinda, but not really. I almost thought that it's like if it's an anti-war anthem, then the 99 red balloons symbolize like all the people we've lost to war. But that was not. But I guess symbolizing remembrance and the hope of letting go. So maybe that's has a correlation to this whole red balloon theory. Gotta get myself a red balloon, dude. That's for sure. Maybe a cardinal. And maybe a butterfly. The let them theory was the top search theory in one of the weeks in March. It was propelled by Mel Robbins' book, The Let Them Theory, a life-changing tool that millions of people can't stop talking about. Wild book title. The theory, first popularized by Robbins on TikTok and Instagram, struck a chord with millions seeking relief from stress and relationship struggles in an increasingly chaotic world. At its core, the Let Them theory is a self-help mindset that encourages people to stop trying to control others' actions or emotions and instead focus on their own responses and well-being. Okay. I didn't realize that was the Let Them theory. Like, was that the Let Them theory? Like, was that first, or was it just like, hey, you can't like control what you can control? I feel like that came first. You can't control other people. And then someone's like, oh, that's the Let Them theory. And then they published a book and made millions of fucking dollars. God damn it. So, I think I'm getting better at letting people do things and say things a little bit. Maybe not. I feel like I am. It just, I don't know. What about like boundaries? Like, aren't there boundaries too, where it's like you can't just let people walk all over you? You can't let people talk to you a certain way. You can't let people talk to others about you. You know what I mean? Like, there has to be boundaries, no? You just let them do everything. I guess if I stop trying to control, but then you can't let others control you, correct? Right? God damn you, Mel Robbins. Spring break travel searches, the top spring break travel searches. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, which, you know, my family, my sister, my mother lived down in the Myrtle Beach area for 13 to, about 12 to 13 years. My sister moved to Ohio, but my mom stayed in the Myrtle Beach area. So I appreciate Myrtle Beach, for sure, dude. Have I experienced all that Myrtle Beach has to offer? Sadly, not really. I mean, I haven't. I've golfed there. I've gone to a gentleman's club there. I've gone to the beach there. Is there more to that? Probably not. But yeah, so maybe I have experienced all there is that Myrtle Beach has to offer. But it's a recommend for me, dog. It's a good area. I like the boardwalk area. I think there's plenty to do. There's a good aura, a lot of cozymaxxing. Washington, D.C. is a spring break travel search. And I'm here to tell you, I mean, I think I get it. I think I know why, because of the cherry blossoms and all that shit. I don't think those are the ones that smell like, gotta think of another word for this. Baby batter. DC, no thanks. I have no interest in going to DC for spring break. I guess if you're like a family and you want to learn more about the nation's history, I guess that's a pretty good idea. Panama City Beach, I've never been, but I feel like if I'm loving Myrtle Beach, I might be marrying Panama City Beach. Panama. Like, I just want that playing at all times. Like not the same version, but like the radio version, the club version, the remix, the radio club remix. 5 fingers to the face. Hawaii is another spring break destination. I've only been to like kind of 2 parts of Hawaii. I feel like there's more to explore there. So, for the most part, I enjoyed Hawaii. I mean, it was kind of a weird time. Ocean City. I don't know if this is Maryland or New Jersey, because there's a Maryland, Ocean City, Maryland, Ocean City, New Jersey. I feel like I've been to Ocean City, New Jersey. I've not been to Ocean City, Maryland. All I know is like one of those places has a bar where you can float through the bar on an inner tube and they give you drinks. And it's like, that is my dream. And I think it's called Dreams. What is it called? No, that's not it. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. Oh, maybe it is. Tipsy Tiki's? No, it's not it. Nah, dude. Yeah. It would probably shut down. It feels like it's Secrets. Maybe it's Secrets. There are tables in the water, floating tubes in the bay, indoor, outdoor. Maybe that's it. Teasers, Secrets. I think it's Secrets in Ocean City, Maryland. So those are the top spring break travel searches. March was kind of a tough month. It was a month of reflection, right? Last spring break, I went, it was the last full week in March. I went down to Key West with my then girlfriend. And so it was, I don't know, I get too tied emotionally to dates. Like March, January 6th, September 11th. But no, like, so when those days rolled around, was like, well, at this point last year, I was on a sunset cruise and I took the best picture I've ever taken, golden hour. And then this day we did our bar crawl, and that's when the wheels came off the relationship. And I remember waking up this morning last year when I was on a fucking paddleboard, struggling for 10 minutes against the wind, making zero progress. And then today's the day where my then girlfriend just completely shut down on me and then dumped me on the car ride back from the airport. Yeah. So it was like, it's hard to shake because I feel like that I don't know, it stays with me, and that's a major flaw of mine. And now I'm floodlighting, and I apologize. Excuse. So yeah, that end of March was like, all I could think about is like, at this point last year. And part of me is like, well, it's been a year. That feels like enough time to let things marinate and digest and process. And I could probably reach out to her now and be like, hey, so still don't want me to talk to you? Obviously didn't do that, but it crossed my mind. Bacon, egg, and cheese, the Ocky way, was trending. Refers to a popular, often extravagant and unique style of preparing bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches, popularized by the online personality General Ock, or the Ocky way. I feel like I guess I'm technically not a digital native, right? Because I was born in 80. But like the internet was I remember being like AOL when I was like, first of all, it was like that encyclopedia thing was my first exposure to that kind of online shit. But I feel like that was a CD-ROM that wasn't like online. Yeah, so AOL was like internet. And I feel like that was, if not freshman year, sophomore year in high school. So 94, 95, chat rooms. Oh, shit. And so what? It's now 30 years later. I have 30 years of the internet under my belt, and no fucking clue General Ock is. So, bacon, egg, and cheese, which I adore from top to bottom, head to toe. Love me a bacon, egg, and cheese, a BEC. The Ocky way is characterized by its over-the-top, often unexpected, and sometimes bizarre combinations of ingredients and preparation methods. General Ock is Rahim Muhammad, who's known for his wild and creative sandwich creations. Some examples of his ocky way creations: the bacon, egg, and cheese with Doritos. Involves adding Doritos to the sandwich. This feels like a Taco Bell thing. Like, how is this not a menu item at Taco Bell? You have the Doritos Locos Tacos. Why not throw them bad boys on some bacon, egg, and cheese? That feels like a no-brainer. Bacon, egg, and cheese on a cheeseburger, which, I mean, I literally just had that at the diner last month. It's pretty decent. I like that a lot. Chopped cheese with bacon, egg, and cheese. This involves adding bacon, egg, and cheese to a chopped cheese sandwich. It feels lazy. I'd still eat the shit out of it. Halal bacon, egg, and cheese with Oreo and honey bun, dude. Whoa. Involves adding Oreo cookies, a honey bun to a halal bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. Oof. Okay. All right. I think I'm into that. Honey buns. It's tricky though. Not all honey buns are created equal, you know? I feel like there have been plenty of honey buns where it's like, look great on the outside, stink on the inside. And as we've learned, you can add Oreo to anything and it'll be great. So yeah, I have to dip into that. This one, if you're into Florida shrimp pie, you might be into this one. Bacon, egg, and cheese with shrimp and jelly. This involves adding shrimp and jelly to a bacon, egg, and cheese. I might have to. I'm into some weird shit. I've been on the record as being experimental in the kitchen. I like putting together weird stuff. I think I've found the line. Shrimp's a tough one for me. I mean, I do like me some shrimp, but I think I'm on board with the Florida shrimp pie. I think that could be good. It feels like it's missing something, like a sauce or something. The jelly with the shrimp and the bacon, the egg, I don't know. I think I've found something where it's just like, it's like got all the things I like: bacon, egg, cheese, shrimp, jelly. But yeah, it's the, what is it? Shrimp and bacon, good. Shrimp and egg, good. Shrimp and cheese, good. Shrimp and jelly. I think that's where the disconnect is. I can't. I don't know. Bacon, egg, and cheese with cream cheese. Which, dude, I mean, that's literally all I had for most of 2004 into the 2005 and possibly 2006. It was like a good 2 to 3 years where that was my go-to order at Dunkin' Donuts. And I might even we might get nostalgic on your ass and go retro and bring it back. And people thought it was so disgusting. And it was just like, why, dude? Just a little more cheese, a little more queso for your grill. And then the last one, bacon, egg, and cheese on a red velvet pancake. Whoa, dude. That's, yeah. Okay. I think I'm into that. What does IHOP not? That feels like an IHOP creation. I can't believe IHOP does not offer that. Get on that, IHOP. Where to find it? You can find the Ocky Way creations at the Ocky Way locations, primarily in New York City. Well, so you're SOL, rest of America. But it feels like if people are searching for it, it's trending. Like, maybe considered like spreading the love across this great, vast country of ours. I don't even want to talk about the parent-teacher conference I had. I'll just say this. They're all in agreement that my daughter should have tutoring over the summer. So essentially summer school. So it's like, I've never done summer school. I've never done tutoring over the summer, I don't think. I don't think my ex-wife has, her mother. So it's a little bit like, whoa, feels a bit much, but I can understand where they're coming from, because after kindergarten, going to first grade, it's like, that's 2-3 months. And, when they did the testing right when she got back, it was like, whoa, she's way behind the curve. And it's like, well, yeah, she hasn't been doing shit over the summer except going to summer camp and getting her tan on, getting that mocha chocolate caramel skin, and being in the pool, But isn't that what summer is for most kids? Is like having fun, no school, being outside, playing, not continuing to learn. I don't know. I mean, yeah, you get your summer reading list, right? That was like the big thing when you're in high school and I don't know about college, but high school and maybe even like junior high, middle school, but like first grade, just let the players play. You know, these kids, I don't know. I'm torn between, well, now is the time for them to, you know, I don't want to like overwhelm them or have them burn out because they're constantly like reading and writing and math and all that shit. So, I mean, we agreed to it, but it definitely, I mean, her summer schedule this summer is out of control. I don't think I've ever had a summer schedule like she's going to have this summer. You know, last summer was just like summer camp and then 1 week with mom down at the shore, 1 week with dad down in South Carolina. And that's that. This year, it's like 2 weeks at this one summer camp, 6 weeks of the summer school in the morning with then immediately transported to the pool at another school in the afternoon. Then a week down in South Carolina, a week down with her mom in the shore, a week at another summer camp in Pennsylvania, where she's going to stay with her grandmother, her mother's mother's. And then there's like 2 or 3 other weeks where it's like she's back at this other summer camp. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 summer camps. I guess 3 in total, but like split up 4 ways. It's just a lot. I don't know. We'll see how she responds, you know? And I thought my response for most when she initially pitched a lot of this was like, this girl that we have produced together, okay, is probably already thoroughly lost and confused. Okay. Like she is, I mean, just the going back and forth between our 2 houses she's in a tizzy, you know, she's just like in a tornado at all times. So, you know, the fact that she still doesn't know the days a week, that she doesn't know like Wednesdays, Thursdays with me and Monday, Tuesdays with, you know, the mother, like it's just a lot of back and forth. She doesn't know what day it is. She doesn't know what's a home day, what's a school day. She doesn't know what month it is, like what year, you know, it's just like, so we're just like, okay. So we're just going to like constantly move her around. And like, is that going to be, you know, I'm already thinking about the future. Like, is that going to be what the summer is every summer? Feels like a lot, dude. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll be for the best, you know? I can understand why she doesn't want to do the camp from last year because it was like they were outside all the time. And I kept asking her, like, hey, so what do you do at camp? She's like, we just walk around a lot. It's like, do you do like archery or do you put on a play? You know, I'm thinking of like Wet Hot American Summer. I'm thinking about the summer camp that I went to where it was like we were in canoes, we were swimming, we were, you know, XYZ. She's like, yeah, we just walk a lot. And then we go to the pool. And it's just like, oh, like, and then when it rains, you watch movies. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So me personally, I would have been, let's do one summer camp, but let's find a summer camp with our actual activities. And I actually found a camp that does it. I forget the name of it, but like they have a dozen activities and then the kids get to pick, right? Which I feel like that could get a lot of hand. You don't want to give the kids too much power. But there's a dozen activities, but if they all pick the same activity, like you have all these other stations set up, no one using them? I don't know. So, yeah, that was the PTC and summer camp situation. The new MLB City Connect uniforms for 2025. So I did like a ranking last year, which I meant to put out a video with that, and I failed. But so there are a few. There's like a handful of new uniforms that are debuting. Some of them first timers, most of them second. This is the second version. Right now, I'm looking at the one from the Colorado Rockies, and I gotta tell you, barf. And yeah, that's pretty much the reaction that a lot of these City Connect uniforms are getting is just barf. I actually did not hate the first version of the Colorado Rockies City Connect uniforms, which I think it was like green and white It had the mountain range. And I was like, I think I can get behind this. Like, it's a little kooky with like the all green, right? You have the green pants, green shirt, green hat. But ultimately, I was like, I think I dig it, you know? This one's like, you got the light Columbia blue with the purple on top of it. And then there's like a little bit of a pink, orangish kind of sunset, which I typically love that color palette when it's done right. We have the blues and orange and the pinks and whatnot when it's like faded, right? But when it's when it's not blended together like it is here, where it's a very distinct separation between the blue and the purple and the pink and the whatever, it's just like, it just does not look good, dude. So, and the mountain's so small, dude. I mean, I dig the hat's not bad. Like the hat's got the blue hat with the kind of purplish and orange and pink mountain and the baseball on it. I don't hate that. But the jersey itself stinks real bad. The next one is the San Francisco Giants. The Giants cannot figure it out. Like their first one, I dug the color scheme. I liked how they kind of faded it, but it still felt off. This one's, it almost looks like they're in the Nippon Japanese Baseball League. I don't know. It just like a bad minor league uniform. It just feels uninspired. I don't see what the connection is to the city. The lettering on the front is kind of like almost looks graffiti-ish, which I don't hate. But there's nothing that screams San Francisco, I don't think. Although I guess if you look closer, there's like the little on the jersey itself, what looks like the Golden Gate Bridge. What do you call it? Not beams. Architecture much? But yeah, it's a fail. The Nationals, they don't hate. Like apparently a lot of people like the Cherry Blossoms Nationals uniforms, which were all right, I guess. I almost kind of dig these a little bit more. I like that they got the DC on the left titty. The W with the 2 stars on the helmet or the hat could be a little bit better. I'll just say that. I dig the stars, but I think that the W doesn't necessarily align with the DC that's on the titty. Interesting though that they went with like a Columbia light blue, like North Carolina Tar Heel blue, instead of there's 0 red, which I feel like is a mistake. So that's the Nats. This is my favorite one of the 4 that have debuted so far. The Stros, man, the Houston Astros, I love them. Some people gave this like a C or C- grade. I like it a lot. I dig it. I dig everything about it. I like the hat. The hat has like the A with the star in it, kind of like a star outline. It's got Stros across the chest with, again, that cool star looking thing. And the socks are not pictured here, but the socks are looking pretty sweet as well. So I think they're pretty cool. I like them a lot. And then we're supposed to get the second design for the Diamondbacks, which they don't need a second design. That what is it? The Serpientes. It's like one of my favorites. So I don't know why they would do a second version. The Serpientes is so baller, dude. I feel like the moment I get a job, I'm going to buy one if it's still available. And of course, it's not going to be available. Why would you link to that if you're not going to let me do it, dude? So stupid. Great. All right. Well, the Diamondbacks don't need to do another one, but there is a rumor that they are going back to I guess like a teal and purple, which kind of dig. So I was a big fan of the Serpientes. I don't think they need to do anything else with that, but apparently they do. The Red Sox also had a decent City Connect uniform. It was the yellow and blue. That was associated with, I think, the marathon. Yeah, Patriots Day inspired unis. It's got, I like the font on the front is decent. I like the yellow jersey with the blue hat and the kind of the blue B with the yellow outline. I actually love this, dude. So I don't know why they're doing a second version. I feel like once you nail it, don't fuck with it. Their original yellow City Connect uniform will remain in the regular rotation, replacing the team's blue road alternate. Oh, then it says they will also introduce a new City Connect uniform. Okay. Chicago White Sox will unveil a new City Connect uniform in 2025. And I agree. If you listen to last year's episode about the City Connect, well, I did an episode about the City Connects last year because the Mets debuted their new one. I think ESPN gave it like an F or an F minus. I have to agree. The booth, Gary, Keith, and Ron keep talking about how they're coming around on it. My mom said she's like warming up to it. And I'm just like, I can't. It just looks so bad. Like we look like the Yankees fuck the Rockies. Like it's just, we could do better. We could do better. So the White Sox, though, theirs would not have been so bad if they didn't go with the friggin' pinstripes. Like I love that it says South Side on it. It just didn't need the pinstripes. Like I love the font that they used on the chest. Just didn't need the pinstripes. You don't need them. They have some like the other alternates they have are fucking way better. Like even the what they used to wear in like the 80s, most of the 80s and the 70s, where they have like socks and big letters across the chest. I dig that more than this pinstripe nonsense. So that's one that definitely needed a second design. Well, here's a rumored City Connect leak. There's no way that's it. Yeah. It's just a fucking no. It's basically like a Bulls jersey. Which I mean I've been pushing for, and I think a lot of graphic designers have done that in the past, where it's like, what would it look like with the corresponding baseball teams like color scheme on the football uniform? Like if you did the Texas Rangers for the Dallas Cowboys, if you did the I guess it would be the Mets for the Jets, even though I would love for it to be Mets Giants. So I'm not opposed to it as long as they make it their own. The A's and Yankees don't have any. The A's because they don't have a city. Sacramento. By the way, I ended up catching a couple of the games that the Mets played in Sacramento against the A's. And that stadium is so small and the crowd is so intimate. Like it's such an intimate setting. You can hear every time and make out every single word from a heckler. Like you can every time. And there was a guy who one game was screaming every pitch of every inning. And it's just like, how is security not all over this motherfucker and telling him to vamonos? Like, I cannot believe that would be allowed. Like, I guess that's how chill Cali is. It's just like, we're going to let this dude scream his brains out and then hopefully he'll like keel over and we won't have to deal with him anymore. But like, wow, what a insane place to play where like you could hear everybody, what everyone was saying. Like anytime someone yelled something, it was like you could clear as day hear it on the broadcast. And like, they have they had trouble like getting the cart. What's his name? Jose Siri had the foul tip off his knee, and they had to take him in a cart through, like from the dugout through the outfield, through center field to the center field fence to get through that door. So they opened the door, and then the cart had trouble getting through the wall, through the opening. And so they had to get all these people to come and push it from behind. I was just like, wow, this is a 3-ring circus. This is Mickey Mouse bullshit. And oh my God, so wild. And the A's still beat us. What was it? Once, twice, 3 times a lady. So, and the Yankees, I mean, I don't think the Yankees will ever agree to it. I mean, they just allowed their players to start having facial hair, for fuck's sake. And then I'm sad to hear that the Padres are getting a second version in 2026. No, dude. No. Padres don't need a second version. That's another one where it's like, you nailed it the first time. I love the color scheme, the font. And, this is why I'm unemployed. Because like I fucking love what they're doing here. I mean, it's kind of Miami-ish, but it's got I just love, it's very bold, vibrant colors, pinks and the mint green. I like it a lot. That's another one where it's like, I would definitely pick up one of those when I get the cache. That's put it in the cart. So it's sad to hear that they're going to give a second version. If they can, who's to say that Arizona and San Diego can't top what they did, but that's like a tall order, dude. Don't fake the funk on a nasty dunk, my guy. Don't fix what's, nope. Not even gonna, nope. Top searched ballpark food. The top searched ballpark food. We're going to go from least to most searched. Least searched, bratwurst. And that's unfortunate because there's a lot of great bratwurst out there. Why? I don't know. Maybe that's strictly a Middle Western type thing, a Midwest type thing, and it hasn't quite made its way out to the other parts of the country. But goddamn, get yourself involved with some bratwurst. It's so good. Like Milwaukee, I'd imagine probably has one of the best bratwursts. Chicago, but Milwaukee was in the running for my bachelor party, and I was pushing for it for another guy's bachelor party. It's a very underrated spot. Like, especially in the summer, go to a Brewers game, just food, drink, and bratwurst. Ballpark nacho cheese. Can't remember the last time I had nachos at the ball game. I do love myself a good nacho, but I feel like nachos, they're often disappointing. I love the idea. It makes sense, and the good nachos are really good, but I feel like most places mess it up. Especially at the ballpark where like they could be cutting corners. You know what I'm saying? They're not using the best chip. The quality cheese isn't up to snuff. Ballpark beer, obviously, comes in next. Ballpark pretzels. Pretzels are another one where it's like you get them when they're soft, fresh baked. So good. Especially if you get some of that nacho cheese or even like the beer cheese. Pretzels with beer cheese. Now you're speaking my language. Ballpark nachos, which is different from ballpark nacho cheese, apparently, is next. Ballpark corn dogs. I think I want to get my daughter into corn dogs. I don't think I've ever actually had a corn dog, which is wild. It's crazy. I need to get on that. But I want to see if I can make my own healthy corn dogs. Is that even friggin' possible? Probs not. But corn dogs was next. I went to, when we were coming back from South Carolina, we stopped to get dinner at it was the Maryland House service area in Maryland. And the line for Wendy's was out the building. So I was just like, all right, we got to come up with plan B. I saw that no one was at Nathan's Hot Dogs. And I was like, all right, my daughter likes hot dogs. I was like, hey, do you want a hot dog instead? And she's like, yeah. So go over to Nathan's Hot Dogs. We ordered 2 hot dogs, $22. I know at this point I'm a broken record and people have tuned me out, and that's fine. But fucking A, I went to Jersey Mike's subs. It was a buy one, get one free. I got 2 giant subs for $22. Okay. That's how it should be. That should be standard operating procedure. To get 2 hot dogs that are maybe 6 inches, standard length, ladies, for $22 is just unreal, dude. Why is a hot dog $10? Why? And there was no accoutrement. There was no condiments or toppings like mine. I got a chili ripper because I thought like, oh, that's gonna be cool. Like there's gonna be a bunch of shit on it. No, it was just a hot dog with chili on it. And then she just got a plain hot dog with ketchup on it, and it's like $20. Those 2 hot dogs that you just have been rolling on that fucking machine you got or boiling. How much could that possibly cost you, dude? And I get it. It's a rest stop, rest area type service area situation where it's like you basically have a captive audience and there's only so many options, and it's like you can get away with a little bit of price gouging, but fucking A, $22 for 2 hot dogs. I was expecting like a chili ripper to come with like the works, like ripper, it's like we're gonna rip it, we're gonna grip it or rip it, we're gonna we're gonna lace this wiener with all kinds of toppings and lather it, and then we'll top it off with some chili. Nope. It was like it wasn't even topped with chili really. It was like a little chili nugget here, little chili nugget here with like, and there's like a snail trail from connecting the two of them. Gross. Ballpark hamburgers. I know that there's a Shake Shack at City Field. I've had the Shake Shack there and I wasn't like too impressed. I don't know. Like I remember Shake Shack was like a huge thing by my old place of work in the city. And it was like there was a camera because the lines are so long. And I remember, and I never ate there, but I've eaten plenty of times Shake Shack down the road on Route 1 here and at City Field. And it's just like, I'm not picking up on what you guys are putting out. Okay. It's like, it's just not clicking. Shake Shack got me shook. Ballpark peanuts. I dig peanuts in the shells at baseball games where you just crack it and you can dump it right on the floor. I feel like there's a restaurant that has it too. I think it's Lone Star Steakhouse or something like that, where it's just like they give you, I don't understand how they're profitable. Like peanuts are not, I know like there's that expression, like the cost is like peanuts. But it just feels like a losing endeavor. Like you can just give this to me for free and I can just throw the shells in the ground and you don't mind. Okay. Same thing at a ballpark. So I dig me some peanuts at the ballpark. Pizza, ballpark pizza. I don't think I've ever done pizza at the ballpark. I don't think I want to. It just doesn't feel like the right spot to do that. And then ballpark hot dogs. So definitely have had plenty of hot dogs at the ballpark. Who is the best ballpark hot dogs? I had a whole pitch when I did an audition tape for Barstool Sports where I was like, I will go to every stadium and do their craziest food item that they sell at the stadium. And I feel like there was one stadium that had like the craziest hot dog situation. Progressive Field in Cleveland stands out for serving what is widely considered the weirdest hot dog in Major League Baseball, the slider dog. The hot dog is topped with pimento, macaroni and cheese, crumbled bacon, and a handful of Fruit Loops cereal. What? It's a little savory, cheesy, smoky, sweet, confounding, and intriguing. I might take it. I'll take it. I'll get in the batter's box for that one. I will register a plate appearance for that one. PNC Park, where the Pirates play, has the Cracker Jack and Mac Dog, top of macaroni and cheese, salted caramel sauce, deep fried pickled jalapenos, and caramel popcorn. Fuck yeah, dude. And I guarantee it's not more than $10. It probably is $10. That's what I should have had at Nathan's famous hot dogs. I'd take that in a heartbeat. Caramel popcorn is a wild move on a fucking hot dog. Salted caramel sauce and the deep fried pickled jalapenos. Ooh. Oriole Park at Camden Yards has the crab mac and cheese dog featuring macaroni and cheese and Maryland crab meat with Old Bay seasoning. You can't go wrong with that, dude. Chase Field, where the Diamondbacks play, has the all-day breakfast dog, an 18-inch hot dog with hash browns, country gravy, cheddar cheese, bacon, fried eggs, and hot sauce. Yes. Okay. Yes. You have my heart. You have my soul. You have my undying servitude and patronage and loyalty and fealty. Globe Life Field, where the Texas Rangers play, has the Boomstick, a 2-foot-long hot dog loaded with chili, cheese, onions, and jalapenos. Hell yeah. Let me guess, $10. So yeah, that's why I need to get out there and explore. I know my old coworker who is no longer with us, RIP. So sad. He did like a whole ballpark tour over one season. Was it one season or was it 1 month? No, it couldn't have been 1 month. I don't even think it was over the season. It was probably like 2 months. Probably 2 months where he did every single stadium. He visited every single stadium as part of a feature for the website, which I thought was pretty cool. I had another coworker that was her thing was like, I'm going to go to every single stadium. Thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, if I ever get to that point in my life, that would be pretty dope. Get to go to every stadium. Check it out. I know Justin Pugh, he did that for a lot of the football stadiums this past season. And then we had there was a guy I went to my college. I wasn't there when he was there, but he did Tailgate 32, like a docu-series where he went to a bunch of NFL stadiums to find out what the tailgate scene was at each one. That's like, yeah, how can I get someone to pay me to do that? What do I got to do? Because I'm willing to go above and beyond for you and your company to maximize revenue. In terms of top search ballpark food across the United States by state, everything looks pretty normal here, except ballpark bubblegum is the top search in Ohio. What are we doing, dude? What are we doing? Jersey was ballpark nachos or corn dogs. I don't know. They didn't use like the shades of blue that they use are very similar. So it's ballpark beer, Oregon, Alaska, Georgia, Virginia, Louisiana. That makes sense. Ballpark bratwurst, Washington, Colorado, New Mexico, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee. Okay. Corn dogs, Montana, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Mississippi, Alabama. Oh, so Mississippi's on the left. Got it. And yeah, Floribama Shore. That's what I kept thinking about that. I was like, it's the Florida-Georgia line. That's how you got to remember it. Florida-Georgia line, Florida, Georgia, Floribama Shore, Florida, Alabama. How could I ever forget that? Marijuana affects the memory. Ballpark fries, top trend in Iowa and Pennsylvania, New Hampshire. Hamburgers, trending in California, Minnesota, New York, and Massachusetts. Interesting. Ballpark pizza was trending in what looks to be, I don't know. These shades, these colors are too close together, dude. I can't tell what's what. Ballpark stadium cakes was trending in fucking Indiana. What the hell's going on? All right. And then wrapping things up. The torpedo bat was trending. That's because the Yankees are using the torpedo bat and they hit 9 home runs or something like that in a game. Apparently, my buddy from college knows the guy who makes the torpedo bat. And it's insane to me that it's taken this long for this development to happen. Like baseball, in my mind, has always been about, and you could say that about any professional league, but baseball has always been about cheating, like within the parameters. Like it's always about the unwritten. When you think unwritten rules, you think baseball. There are 1,000 unwritten rules of baseball, which leads to a never-ending debate and controversy, and the rules in baseball are just out of control. And so you would have thought, like in the 100+ years that the game has been played, that someone would have invented the torpedo bat by now. But apparently it's just like, we're going to make the spot where the ball, the sweet spot, bigger on the bat. It's like, well, what? It took us to 2025 to figure that out. And, there was, a ton of talk about banning it, and, we got to do something about it. And nothing has happened. So I don't know. It hurts my brain to think about, because it's like, so you thought that someone, it's, and I love conspiracies as much as the next guy, but like the fact that the Yankees managed to make this bat and slip it past everyone and use it in a game, and it wasn't going to get, well, I don't know. I mean, like Albert Bell used a corked bat. George Brett, did he have a corked bat, or was it a tar incident? Like he was his pine tar. I think it was a pine tar thing. But like for years, every year, everyone's finding some kind of loophole or, cheating in some way. Like the torpedo bat seems, I don't think it's this great conspiracy or like it's breaking the rules. It's like, well, what the fuck have you guys been? You've had like what's R&D doing at Louisville Slugger? Like, what are you guys? Aren't you trying to figure out how to make a better bat every single season? I don't know. R.I.P. George Foreman. Big George passed. I had a George Foreman grill for years, kid. Starting, I want to say my senior year in college, which would have been 2001, 2002. I don't think I had a junior year. And I eventually, in 2005, when I was moving out from my apartment, my roommates chucked that thing out the front door into the parking lot. They were so pissed off and annoyed and frustrated and disgusted by the George Foreman grill, as was my roommates when I was in college and in graduate school. Yeah, I'm a pig. I like to wallow and roll around in mud. That's just my nature. Obviously I didn't clean it up to the and that really pissed off a lot of people. And it was just like, but it's like, you're not using it and it's confined, and it might be tough to look at, but it's not like it's not. It's just right there. I don't know. I gotta do a better job. But R.I.P. George Foreman, you made a hell of a grill, and I'm sorry that my friends did not appreciate you like I did. I will say this though, like you need to do, even like when I did a fresh chicken breast, when I did a chicken titty on the George Foreman grill, I feel like it was always a little pink on the inside. So it was not exactly, it did the trick, but you often had to like make sure you cut. I think if you cut the chicken breast, slice in half or into strips, much better. But if it's frozen, then it's like, I was too impatient. I would often wouldn't let it thaw and defrost completely, or I'd like try and defrost it and thaw it in the microwave, and that never turns out well. So the amount of chicken that I ate that was probably not up to code, very high for about 4 years. For 4 years, I was just consuming salmonella pretty much. Thank you, George. I appreciate that. Big George, who named all his kids some variation of George, which that came up when we were down in South Carolina because my brother-in-law, his 3 kids, all have his name in their name, girls included. Good. Kensley, Kenson, Kenneth. And my daughter just picked up on that because she's starting to be a little more self-aware of what's going on. And so she was like, so like your name is all in their name? How come I don't have your name in my name? And I was like, well, if it was up to Uncle, he would have his name in your name. But fortunately, I got to name you along with your mother. So yeah, George Foreman grill. I think I only grilled chicken on that. Now I think about it, which is crazy. Like I only grilled chicken. Could you only grill chicken on it? Or could you grill like a burger and a steak maybe? I feel like it was always chicken. I don't know. Anora was the top trending movie search, and that's because the Oscars, because it cleaned up at the Oscars. I didn't think I don't know. I just didn't think it was going to win. I think given all the other movies that released, like I was hoping The Substance would pick up a ton more awards. But Anora cleaned up Sean Baker. I don't know what to think about Sean Baker. I couldn't get through the Florida Project. Is Tangerine one of his movies? I don't know. And then this one, I remember I was like, all right, it's on Hulu. I'm going to give it a whirl. Let's throw it on and see what all the hubbub about. And then like the first 30 minutes, it's just, yeah, it's just a lot of boobies and a lot of sex. And I was just like, all right, well, I mean, you've piqued my interest. You're retaining my attention. But I don't know the whole, and I think it's because I'm just an old fart. I'm at the age now where I'm just like, well, clearly everyone involved in this saw this was going to go sideways. Like, how could you not? But you have to remember, like, these are kids that are in their mid-20s, like early to mid-20s. Like, obviously, they're going to get caught up in some crazy shit. So, but it was basically just Anora, who didn't go by Anora the entire movie, just screaming the entire movie. And I get it. She's basically being kidnapped and held against her will, held hostage. So I get it. But it was just like, this is going to be an hour and a half of just her yelling at them, swearing. And it's just like, you like knew that this guy was involved in something from the get. I don't know. So I just didn't see what made it so great. I think I gave it like a 6 out of 10. I think it has like a 7.6 or an 8 something on IMDb. And I was just like, and she ended up winning the Best Actress Award, Mikey Madison, I think her name is. And it's like, she did give a good performance. Was it the best performance of the year? I don't know. I just, I mean, there are definitely parts of it that are enjoyable, but kind of called that she would fall for the one henchman, the one goon, the one thug, So, I mean, I don't want to say the first scene that he's introduced where like they first come there to kind of, not imprison her, but to like, capture her, arrest her. I was like, oh yeah. Oh, it's okay. This guy's different. And that's definitely going to come back to play later in the movie. And sure enough, it did. But like, but you're a stripper. All you care about is money. That was very clear. You roll up to this guy who obviously is a high roller, who's just throwing around money like crazy. He pays you to have sex with him. And then you become his girlfriend. Then you get married. And it's just like then you're upset that all this is happening and like, we're in love. And it's like, no, dude. And I guess this goes back to me not viewing it as like a coming of age movie. Like, it's really a coming of age movie, not having that, you see where she lives and not having that and wanting that lifestyle and thinking that, and so a lot of people were comparing it to Cinderella. They even mention it in the friggin' movie. They're like, oh, I feel like Cinderella. It's like a modern day Cinderella, a twisted modern day version of Cinderella. Okay, sure. I don't know. That just doesn't resonate with me. Different if she weren't I'm not anti-stripper, but it's just like they made it very clear that she like loves money and wants money and charges money, and this guy has no problem throwing around money. And it's like, well, you wouldn't have liked this guy if he wasn't throwing around money. And now he's dumping you because he's like, well, you're just whatever. How are you that surprised and shocked? I don't know. It was just, I mean, yeah, there were some funny moments, but like a 7 or an 8 out of 10, I don't know. I don't know what it is with me and Sean Baker movies. It's just, they're tough to handle. Invincible finale happened. That was a pretty good finale. I really like how they set it up for the well, I guess it would be the 4th season now. But goddamn Conquest basically just is a Vitrillion, whatever Mark's dad is, Invincible's dad, that race of extraterrestrial aliens comes to Earth and is just beating the piss out of Invincible for the majority of the episode. It felt like one of those old school WWF matches where it's like the Hulkster is just getting pounded for most of the match, and then he finally starts shaking his fist and he starts hulking out. It's like that's what that face off felt like, except it was, I mean, if the episode is an hour long, it was took up at least half an hour to 40 minutes of the episode where it's just Conquest beating the fuck out of Invincible for the majority of the episode. And I was just like, wow, like I understand this is a cartoon, but how much more can he take? So what's curious about Invincible is like, I guess he's young. He's still figuring out like the extent and breadth of his power, right? But it's always like, why don't you? So are you just not? There are a bunch of scenes throughout the season where it's like, oh, so he's just like not trying. I guess, it makes sense. You don't want to go 110% every time out, but at the same time, it's just like you have this extra gear that you feel like you don't need to use, even though you're getting the tar knocked off. Yeah. I guess you could say the same about Adam Eve, where it's like she didn't realize she had a certain power until she was put to the ultimate stressor. Like she was basically dying or dead, and that's when it unlocked this power that she had. So maybe that's the same with Invincible, but on a lesser level, like a more subtle level. I don't know. It felt like Invincible gets his ass handed to him, and then like really getting beat up to the point where it's like, I thought you're supposed to be like the most powerful superhero on the planet. Like that's what you've been billed as. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, now I got to turn it on. It's like, well, if you turn it on like 5 minutes earlier, half the city would still be standing. So it was sad to see, spoiler, Rexplosive perish. Although, I don't know, it doesn't necessarily feel like that's, I don't know. I don't 100% buy that that's the end of him. It feels like that might be a twist surprise that they unveil next season. Because like Rexplosive to me was one of the more appealing, likable characters for all his flaws and whatever, ego, narcissism, but he's still like, I love Jason Mantzoukas. He's the one who voices Rexplosive, and they just took an interesting turn in this season where it's like we're now going to have him fall for and date, what's her name, the Ant-Man, female version of Ant-Man. No, Rexplode. Sorry, not Rexplosion. Jesus Christ. Rexplode. With, damn it, it doesn't say her name. I forgot her name. Shrinking Ray. That one felt it's I don't know. I kind of understand what they were going for, where it's like, okay, we have what appear to be two polar opposites, like the brash, bold out there with the more insular, introverted type woman. So I get like opposites attract, that type of thing, but it just, I don't know. It didn't feel very organic. And then to have him just like with this, he finally finds this person that he feels something that he's never felt before, right? Like he dated Adam Eve, but like never had the kind of connection that he has with Shrinking Ray. And then for him to be like, all right, I'm going to sacrifice myself. It's just like, but you just got into this thing where you're like, you're happy. And now you're just, okay. So that's why I feel like it's just not over yet with him. But overall, a pretty awesome finale. And they had a pretty good setup for the next season. So pretty psyched about that. And then we'll finish up with this. One of my favorite animals, the allure and the legacy behind one of my favorite animals has been basically debunked, dude. First time I found out about the water bear, aka tardigrade, was on Cosmos, the new Cosmos with Neil deGrasse Tyson. I was like, holy fuck, that thing looks awesome. It's like a combination of the Michelin Man meets a manatee meets whatever. And he was saying that they can survive anything, like nuclear fallout. Like basically, they're like a cockroach on steroids. They can survive anything. And so then I never thought to look up how long they actually live. The typical lifespan of a tardigrade is only a few months to 2 years. Some may live as little as 3 to 4 months, while others can reach up to 2.5 years if conditions are favorable. But yet, tardigrades possess a remarkable survival mechanism called cryptobiosis, or the ton state, where they suspend their metabolism almost entirely in response to extreme environmental stress. In this dormant state, they can survive for much longer, potentially decades, without aging or needing food or water. There are documented cases of tardigrades being revived after 30 years in this state, and some researchers speculate that they could endure even longer, although claims of surviving over a century are not conclusively proven. So, just out of curiosity, why hasn't any mad scientist figured out how we can enter a ton state in cryptobiosis? Because I want to see my great grandkids. I want to battle Wesley Snipes in the future, where guns aren't allowed, neither is profanity, and you have to use 3 shells to wipe your butt when you go duty. All right, that's the episode. Another doozy. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Next episode will most likely be a draft recap. I don't know when that will be because the ex-wife is out of the country, probably getting proposed to by her college boyfriend. That should be fun, hearing about that from third parties. So I have the daughter for the next week or so. So I don't know if we'll be able to record that, but we'll try to get out the draft recap for the Giants. Still haven't done anything about the Metros. Oh my God. So we'll have to do a first month or so recap of the Metros at some point in the coming weeks. And then the April recap. That'll be coming up pretty soon as well. And beyond that, Memorial Day weekend is on the horizon. Some interesting things in the works there. So I'll keep you posted on that shit. But for now, I have to say, adios, muchachos.